Broadcast is live now.
Hi, everybody. Let's try that again. Sherry said we were going live, so I just started talking.
I said we were going to go live, but I forgot to push the button. Sorry.
So we are live now. Yes, indeed. So
officially live.
Yeah. So Darknite Radio is back on the air once again. We welcome Nick and Sue Poshusta back to Darknite Radio. It has been some time since we had. Yes, I did get it right.
I was going to say better him than me because I
You did. You got it right, buddy. You got it right.
Yeah. Now we do. Now y'all have been tuning into some of our shows. Y'all was in the chat when we had David on here last week. I know Nick was, and of course, when our good old buddy Chuck was on. he was in the show.
Oh, bless Chuck's heart.
We actually finally got to meet Chuck in person last year when we were in Palmyra, Missouri, because he's like right down the road from there. We haven't got to meet y'all in person, even though y'all were just in Greenwood. Actually, I think at the time you were in Greenwood last time was when I had COVID. I think.
Was it October?
Yeah, it was like October.
No, was it October?
Yeah.
It was before we had COVID.
Or January.
No, January,
because it was really cold. Yeah.
January.
Yeah, January. I did.
That's when he had COVID.
That's when I got COVID. Yep.
Beginning of the year.
Hey, Carol.
Yeah.
So, have y'all? All right. So for some people who may not know who you are, if you would like, y'all can go ahead and tell a little bit about yourself and your team.
All right. Started off, Sue and I are the founders of Bus Paranormal. We're out of Cedar Rapids, Iowa. We've been doing this now for probably 9 years, somewhere in that area, 8-9 years. Our team consists of my nephew and his wife, Brian and Amy, and then some good friends that we have on the team, which would be Mike from up in Minnesota. Then we've got Dan from here in the Cedar Rapids area. And those are the main members of our team. We've got a few other ones that try and join us off and on. And Chuck, which of course we cannot forget that man. We were lucky enough to grab him a few years ago and just asked him to join the team in just perfect timing because there was another team going to ask him. And we didn't even know it, but we got in just under the wire and got him to join the team.
Yep.
So we were very lucky to have him on the team. So, yep, that's kind of a short little up about us. Yeah.
Chuck's an interesting character, and he definitely puts in work in the spiritual realm. I'm gonna say that.
He does.
One thing I really like about him, and not just him, there's been a few others too, but getting to know Chuck through like the podcast and like long distance, meeting him in person. He is just the same. He is authentically himself, regardless. So that was really nice to see.
Yeah. He'll give you his shirt off his back. He'll do anything to help. He is just a really great guy. His abilities in the paranormal are absolutely mind blowing. He has saved our butt on more than one occasion when things started to go a little to the weird side in the paranormal. He's always been there to help us out. So yeah, he's been an amazing guy.
And he's just like, he doesn't get a big head about it either, or that he's not. Oh, I can do. He's
down to earth.
He's very down to earth, and I low key kind of fangirl when I met him, and he's all like, "Why?" And I'm like, "Because it's you." I'm just an everyday person. I don't know why you're so excited to meet me. And I'm just like, oh, okay.
And he'll tell you, he don't want a TV show. He's been offered TV shows. He turned them down. He turned them down. He don't want no part of it.
He's just Chuck.
Yep, he wants to be in the background. He wants to help from the background all the time.
Yeah.
And he's helped
us.
There's
with that. There's nothing wrong with that.
He's helped us just like he helped y'all. And honestly, honestly, I think Chuck helped save my life at one point. I was in a spiritual warfare of sorts. I'm also very gifted. I don't talk about it a lot, but I'm also very gifted in some areas. My whole team is gifted. This one right here too, but she's.
Hey Lee, hey Carol.
But
Hey Caribou.
I'm kind of a gatekeeper, I've been told, so I cross over spirits. And apparently I crossed over one that another spirit or entity wanted. And so he come after me instead, and I ended up in a car accident.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I could say that spiritually, Chuck was there with me that day. He helped me a lot.
And what you know about him, he's always there to check back up on you forever after that. Once you meet Chuck, you're his friend forever. I mean, if you upset Chuck enough where he won't talk to you anymore, you really did something wrong.
Right.
I mean, you really did something wrong.
Yeah.
So, what kind of awesome things do you guys have coming up for your team?
Oh my goodness. I think we've got 13 or 14 locations or investigations slotted for this year.
Wow.
That's very busy.
Yes. We do stay busy. Our first one, we're actually kicking off our season the last Saturday of this month, and we're going to be going back to the Cambrai House, which is in Nauvoo, Illinois. And of course, it wouldn't be investigation season without Edinburgh Manor.
Oh, man.
I love it.
I didn't get to go. We didn't get to go. Lauren's been, but me, Sherry, and Jackie have not been able to make it to Edinburgh yet.
I told them they got to
go,
have
not been there yet.
Yeah, we have not.
You're missing
that place
out.
Is awesome.
We are also going back to Malvern Manor this year. We're going to Klondike Hotel.
Yep.
Klondike Hotel is one of our favorites. We are going to do. Have you heard of the Monroe House?
Yes.
Yep.
Nick Groff and them run the Monroe
We're going
House.
for 2 nights.
Oh wow.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Stupid or brave? I'm not quite sure which end that one falls on.
We have one like that we're going to try to get into this year as well.
Is what?
You're from Arkansas, right, Sue? Originally?
No.
Are you from Iowa? How did your family end up in Greenwood?
Well, my dad's younger sister had moved to Greenwood with her husband and called my dad and said, "Hey, now that you're retired, why don't you and Barb move down here?" So Mom and Dad sold us their house, and then they moved down to Arkansas. And for probably the first year and a half, Mom and Dad were coming home like every 6 weeks. It was crazy. And then they realized it's too long of a drive.
We'll see.
It's about a 10.5 hour drive for us to get down there.
Yeah,
and then Dad passed away, and Mom moved here for a while, and now she's back down there.
Let's see, before, and I didn't mean to cut you off. Sometimes it's a little laggy, but before, like, my family isn't originally from Arkansas either. My grandparents and my mom and them, they were all born in Indiana.
Really?
Yeah, and so, like, my grandparents split up, and one of my grandparents moved down here to get away from the other one. and the other one followed. With the kids. So now I was born in Arkansas, and my sisters and my cousins. But my aunts and my uncles and my mom and my grandparents, everybody was born in Indiana.
Oh, wow.
But now we're here in Arkansas.
Wow.
4 days later.
That's cool.
It's like you get stuck here and don't leave.
No.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I wasn't born in Arkansas and I'm here. So it tells you something.
I wasn't born in Arkansas and I'm here.
No.
I was born and raised here.
I was born in Florida.
My mom was born in Shawnee, Oklahoma, though.
Jackie's from Illinois originally.
Are you guys trying something new this year?
We are. Nick and I have chosen an undisclosed location that the team knows nothing about. And we're going to go for an investigation for the night. And then Brian and Amy, his nephew and his nephew's wife, have chosen a second mystery location that we know nothing about that we'll be investigating also.
So y'all are doing some destination fear type of stuff.
A little bit, yeah.
See, that would be awesome. Like, we need it.
Like you're just rolling up there like, all right, so this year, guys, or girls, I should say, because I'm the only guy on the team right now. Well, full-time member, that is. It's me, Jackie, Lauren, and Sherika. We're all the only full-time members. We have others like y'all that go with us, like our friend Travis, and Justin and Tim will join in occasionally. But we all need to pick a location that nobody else knows about.
I was going to say that, but with the exception of you, because I'm scared of where you would pick. But
they don't
Lauren
want
and
me
Jackie all need to pick a location and make me go to it with knowing nothing.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
The only thing that we told our team members was the location that we picked out is a location unlike any place we've ever investigated before.
Huh.
And we left it at that.
And it's headed east out of Iowa.
So it should be a lot of fun.
Sherika's going to step out for a second. She's getting a call. She'll be right back.
Yep, that's fine.
But yeah, so one that we're planning on doing this year, and y'all probably heard of it, is the House on Haunted Hill in Texas.
Oh, yep, sure have.
We are going to attempt to conquer that overnight adventure that they say nobody has done yet.
Yep.
So that's a location, and we actually got friends of ours that live in Texas that are going to go with us to see if we can make it through the night.
Nice.
So when is that happening?
We don't know yet. I mean, I'm good to go anytime.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting on them because they're the ones that brought it up. And they're all like, "Oh, check this video out of it jerking this girl out of the bed."
I'll watch that. That was nutty.
And I'm all like, "All right, I'll check it out. Why not?"
We're also heading back to the house on the hill.
Beatty Mansion.
Beatty Mansion.
Oh, man.
We'll be actually doing the world's largest ghost hunt from there this year. And McIntyre Villa.
We done McIntyre for the first time last year. It was amazing. It's a beautiful home, beautiful location.
God,
it is. Yep, it is. But yeah, Beatty absolutely loved that place. I know you guys have been there, and I love that location.
No, we haven't been to Beatty yet.
Oh, you haven't been
there?
to Beatty?
No, I want to go.
Yeah,
I want to go
there.
Yeah, we need to go.
Brandon and Jackie are from up north. I'm from Arkansas. Like, our cold here is almost too cold for me. So
she would have died.
I don't do a whole lot of
Went to Iowa. Oh my
God. We went to Iowa in February. We went to y'all's neck of the woods in February back in 2019. Wow. And we went to the Squirrel Cage Jail and the Manila Schoolhouse that Matt Bennett had for a while there.
Like 70 layers of clothing and self-freezing.
I mean, at least Squirrel Cage had electric. The school didn't even have electric, and Matt had these heaters set up in this little room.
It was not enough.
It wasn't doing nothing.
Not enough.
You're in there, your hands are frozen. Like, by the time we went in there, it was like a foot of snow had dropped just in the amount of time we were in there.
Like, it was almost past my wheels of my car.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. And like, 5 hours? Not even that.
Sherika would have been out of there.
We don't do a whole lot of winter investigating unless we know the places got heat.
Yeah, we kind of died down. We've actually been on a hiatus for the most part for, I don't know, our last investigation we done was September, I think.
Oh.
A lot of places
here. With us. I think we ended ours in November.
No, we done one. We done a private resident, somebody's house that we knew. Mm-hmm. But outside of that, I think our last one was the end of September, maybe. somewhere around there because it was a Clayton house.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's Clayton House.
Okay.
Man, when y'all come to Arkansas next, we got to get together because we got some locations down here that y'all would love too.
Awesome.
We got a couple of them, like the
I know
old.
we got a couple friends that we've made down there in Fort Smith or in Greenwood that really love what we do, and they'd love to go with us sometimes. So maybe we could hook that up with you guys and us.
Oh
And
yeah,
That's
Yeah.
cool.
oh yeah. I mean, we got like there's one called the Old Arkansas Hospital. It's been shut down for like you probably heard me talking to
2 or
David.
3
Talking
years
with
now that
David,
we
it's been
haven't
shut
been
down
able-
for like 2 years because of COVID.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
So this is the first year in 3 years that anybody's got to get back in there.
And we'll
Oh,
actually
crazy.
be going
And we're
more
gonna do.
times.
We'll be doing their
Yeah.
4 hunts this year at that
Really?
location.
Nice.
That's one
Very
of
nice.
those places that it's so close, and they have a minimum fee, but it's donations.
Oh, nice.
And it's every time we go, it is always active.
Yeah.
It's always something different. Like
It's active like
we go 4 to 5
Daytime.
times a year and never get tired of it.
as soon as
So
you walk through the door, it's daylight. You can hear things down the hallway, upstairs. Like it's like nonstop
Yeah, like
activity.
when I
there's-
first joined the group, okay, they said that
Love
we
that
were
place.
going there, and I'm like, I know where that's at, but I've never been up. It's kind of like off the road, like you got to go up a driveway. And I was like,
Mhm.
you know, I'm going to drive up there and just check it out in the daylight before I go at night.
It's intimidating to look into.
We were sitting there, and the swing started moving.
Nice.
And I'm like, the wind ain't blowing. I was with my friend at the time because she went with us, and we're like, the wind ain't blowing. So we get out and we're like feeling, licking our fingers and feeling, and I'm like, why's that swing moving? Why's that swing moving? And the guy's like, when we got there, that night I was talking about it, and the guy's like, oh, that happens all the time. Like,
Yeah.
that's just, and I'm like,
Wow.
this when I'm first getting into it, so I was like freaked out, but I love that place.
I'm still never a fan of that basement.
Hmm.
That
Well, you
basement
guys
gives me
need
the
to
creeps.
book. You guys need to try to book. You need to try to book Edinburgh Manor and let us know, and we will.
hey,
we will
this
come out
this
and
is
we'll
my
help you
plan.
guys
This is my
pick it
plan.
up.
I'm not trying to cut you off there again. It's laggy.
He gets
Go back
excited.
so bad.
This is my plan. This is what I want to do. Because normally I want to do Farrar Schoolhouse and Edinburgh Manor back to back.
Mhm.
Because they're both in that same general vicinity. I mean, they're a little bit of ways apart.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then I also want to do Malvern and Villisca back to back.
Yeah.
Yes.
Malvern, absolutely love. Villisca's awesome. Malvern, love that location.
Melbourne and Villisca are about 40 minutes apart,
Yeah.
which isn't
Yeah.
bad. Farrar and Edinburgh, that's about a 3-hour.
Is it?
Yeah. Normally, though, when we take a road trip, we'll try
Yeah.
to do like 2 locations, sometimes 3, just
Make it
depending
worth
on
it.
them.
Right.
Even if it's like that, even if it's like a 3-hour drive, we'll go up, we'll drive, and stay in the area of one, and then we'll move over to the other one, get a hotel room there, and then end our trip and come home. So we try to make it
Absolutely.
worth our while.
But
Well, at least Edinburgh has the bathroom house that you
Yep.
can sleep in,
Yeah, we stayed
so
the night
that you
there
don't
when
need
we
a
went.
hotel there.
yeah,
Yeah.
she's look at her. She's excited.
I do
She
hotel
is
room.
excited to be.
That bad.
She's excited to stay the night in a haunted location. That's been a dream of hers.
There's only one place that I've actually stayed the night at, as far as a haunted location goes, and that's the was it 1852?
The Garnet House.
1858 Garnett House in
Garnet
Kansas.
House.
Have y'all been to that one yet?
I've heard of it, haven't been there.
Oh,
That's
it's amazing.
another amazing
It's a
one.
good
But
little
that's
place.
the only one I've most of the time I'm like, no.
Man, I went by the Sally House because it's in the same town.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or no, the Sally House was that?
Sally is Hatchetson.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
and with the McIntyre.
That-
Well, we
McIntyre, yeah.
we drove by the Sally House when we went to McIntyre, and I was like, it's in the middle of a neighborhood.
It is
Like,
not
it's like
isn't it?
God.
door to door with 2 other houses.
I was thinking it was by itself somewhere. I didn't think it was.
And when I pictured the Sally house, I didn't
For some
picture
reason.
it being right in the middle of a residential neighborhood.
I didn't either
Absolutely.
for some
And
reason.
it's a busy road. It's on a busy
Yeah,
road.
it's a main road almost.
Yeah.
Me and Lauren was joking about if you lived in the Sally house and somebody lived next door, you'd just be like, "Hey, can I borrow a cup of sugar?" And you wouldn't even have to leave. You could just hand it through the window.
Oh,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's too close.
Too close.
Richard Esta
I
run a
wouldn't like
great
that.
book on Furore
Richard Estate.
for Steve.
Yep.
I'm
He's a
friends
great
with
guy.
him. Yeah, I'm friends with him as well.
Yeah, he's a great guy. We've talked to him quite a bit, and he's the one that's given me a lot of information on the Monroe House and gave me some things. So I'm really jacked up about the Monroe House.
We actually got to meet him last year
Oh,
at the Beatty Mansion.
oh, that's
Oh, that's
cool.
awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was really cool.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
nice.
Caribou.
That's Colette.
I'm not.
It's Colette.
Oh, Colette.
Yeah, she changed her name.
Yeah, Dan is over in the UK right
There he
now.
is, that lucky dog.
I know.
Lucky man. All of
He
us
is.
want to go to the UK, except for her.
Oh,
She-
I know.
they got so
You
many
know-
great locations over there, man.
She's terrified to leave the
Yeah.
US. That's Sherika.
No.
Too many scary movies.
No, it's not really
Yeah.
scary movies, but
She's been watching Hostel too much.
Yeah.
no, I've watched too many of those like
I know.
locked up shows
Human
where they go
trafficking.
over to other countries, and I'm like, I'm gonna go over there and do something stupid that I don't know is illegal, and I'm not ever gonna get to return home. So
Oh,
that's why I'm.
you know, and in a strange way, I agree. I watch those same shows and I love watching it.
Yeah.
I'm going, I couldn't imagine getting locked up in some of those prisons. I'm
Like-
like,
Yes, because their prison systems are completely different, and their like judicial system and stuff
Yeah.
is completely
Well, there's,
different
like-
than ours.
I was watching this one where this kid tore down a poster of the president and he was sent to prison and he never
Yeah.
came back home. He died because they
Oh.
used him over there.
That's
He
what
was
I'm
American.
saying.
He was
like,
American. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like Korea or North. No, I don't think it was. I don't know if it was North Korea.
somewhere.
Yeah, from tearing down a
Wow.
poster. He got. It was bad. I was like,
That's
oh
what
my
I'm saying.
god.
Like, what if my backpack accidentally ripped the poster and I didn't do it on purpose, and then I end up in
was
prison over there for the rest
awful.
of my life? Like, well, I'm good.
It was terrible. I was like, oh my gosh.
My backpack
Oh.
did it. Here, take it. You know?
Oh.
Right?
It's insane, man. I was like, wow.
That's you know, already. And a lot of people joke with me because of my fears. Like, they're like, "Oh, you're good," and I'm like, "Yeah, but my fears are like not normal fears. Like, I'm scared of deer, clowns, and leaving the country. Like, that's my main fears." And they're like, "Really?" And I'm like, "Yes,
Let's hope
really."
they're all three not at the same time.
Ugh.
It's crazy.
A clown riding a deer in another country. Oh,
No, that would-
When
nightmare.
you get off the airport,
that would
when you
be
get
a
off the airport, when you get off the
Speaking
airport.
of deer, I hit one about 2 nights ago.
Oh, well, you didn't tell me this. What?
Yeah,
Oh no.
Like-
I'm not the only one who hit
Thankfully-
the deer? Wow.
thankfully, the only damage it done is put a little dent in my driver's side fender. It was funny because I
Like,
hit
you
him in
can't
the
really
butt.
notice it, so.
Yeah, I hit him in the butt.
Yeah.
Like I come over the hill and I couldn't do nothing. He was standing there, just boop.
Usually it's me only hitting deer all the time. Deer like my car.
So have y'all got any new equipment or anything lately?
We invested in a couple new music boxes,
Oh, I want to
and I
Oh.
bit the bullet, and I bought myself a portal.
Oh,
So
I want
I'm
to too.
excited to break that in this year for the first
I'm
time.
jealous.
And we
So
got our tripwire lights.
and our tripwires,
I'm back.
really the tripwires
Okay.
are really I love using those.
It's getting so bad that our next purchase will be a semi because
Go,
gear
U-Haul
we have
truck.
is ridiculous.
Roll
We
up
have
in a
that
semi with full of
issue.
equipment.
Like, we have that issue with, like, the boxes, trying to find, like, toolboxes or carry-in bags
Oh.
or trying to find something that makes it easy with the equipment.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
I've built custom boxes to try and cut down on size, and it still hasn't helped any.
Right?
You
You
know?
still need more room. There's not enough
Yeah.
room. I
And
don't think
like,
there'll ever be enough room.
We have to take like bedding blow up beds, bedding, clothes, whatever.
Yeah.
Then we have to put the cargo carrier on the back of the vehicle just to carry everything with us.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
But it all works out well. So
Yeah. I mean, that's what we do. We're not, unfortunately, we don't get to be cool like Ghost Adventures and all them and bring our big
they got like 30
SUVs that we
trailers.
got with the trailers pulling behind or RVs like Destination Fear.
They just pop up there in the corner ready to go.
An RV taking us everywhere. Yeah.
And we've thought about that. We're like, we need to invest in buying an RV.
RVs are expensive.
They're expensive.
They are.
They are.
They really are.
RVs are almost as much as a home, like a house. Yeah. Especially if you want a nice one. I mean, you can buy an older one for probably a little bit less. But I mean, if you want a newer one, you might as well go buy
a house on wheels.
Go buy another car.
Yeah.
What do y'all think of the music boxes? Do y'all like them?
Absolutely love the music boxes.
That's my favorite piece of equipment.
Our first one was from St. Augustine's, the coffin-shaped one, and that one I absolutely love that thing.
That one was so bad. That's on my number one list to get.
That's on our list to get for sure.
My favorite. Yeah.
We've had some of the best interaction with that thing. It's just been a great piece of equipment.
Yeah.
What about the tripwires that y'all talked about? Are they pretty effective, do you think?
I think they are. We got them towards the end of the season last year, so we only got to use them a couple times. But each time that we used them, we had other collaborating evidence that worked with it as far as the direction of the wires when we're setting up a REM pod or EDI. So direction of the lighting would actually work out well and show us which. If the lights would go to one end, we'd look out and the REM pod would go off. So they worked out well for us.
It's a little disconcerting when you're sitting there and they start tripping coming towards you.
Yeah.
And you're like,
you're like, wait, go the other way, go the other way.
Yeah. But yeah, we're really happy that we like those. We've got a couple other friends that have them and use them, and they work really well for them as well.
Where did y'all get those from?
1 second, I can grab his business
I'm curious.
Right?
That's like the motion sensor lights, right? Where they...
Yes, they're like in a string. There's like a 12-foot and a 36-foot.
Okay.
We've got the 12-footer.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's see. Oh, let me take a picture.
NCPD.
I'm going to take a picture.
North Carolina Paranormal Detectives. North Canton. I don't know why I read Carolina. North Canton Paranormal Detectives.
Awesome. Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got some other cool stuff out there that a friend of ours has bought from him, and he's got some good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've seen him used a couple of times on some shows, but I didn't, nothing too much. So when you guys mentioned, I was kind of curious. Yeah. They looked pretty interesting, so I was like, that's pretty cool. I never thought about that.
Yeah.
We actually had done an investigation up in Wisconsin. Okay. And we were the first team to ever go into this old opera house to investigate.
Ooh, I love opera houses.
And we had put them down on the stage, and we were sitting up in the balcony. Oh. And I was like, okay, everybody, smoke break, let's go. Everybody outside, and you could just see the lights as they were heading off, like they were leaving stage. It was
That was pretty cool.
That was really
pretty cool.
Oh, that's neat. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of opera houses, have y'all done is it Rose? Rose Opera House in Cynthiana,
Kentucky?
Never heard. I don't know if I've heard of that one.
Oh man,
that place is amazing.
And it's cheap. He charges $25 a person.
Seriously,
$25 a head, and you get it all night. Like he met us there at like 5 o'clock in the evening.
He'll show you around, show you where the light switches are, and then he's gone.
And you don't have to be out of there. He leaves the key with you.
You just drop the key in the box when you're done.
Nice.
Where's this at?
Cynthiana, Kentucky. It's like we usually when we go to Waverly, or Bobby Mackey's or somewhere like that, we'll do that one too.
It's like
it's ROHS, Rose Opera House.
It's a like old school opera house.
Really?
It's so beautiful. And they have like the newer part from like what is it like the 30s or 40s or something like that. And then they have the older part built in the back. It's like they built onto it, so it's like super old. It's pretty neat, yeah.
The first
activity.
Oh gosh, yes.
The first time we went there, we've been there twice, I think, maybe 3 times, twice for sure.
Yeah.
But the first time we went there, he shows you where the breakers and stuff are. So we turn off, so we can turn off the electricity, turn off the lights or whatever. And so I accidentally flipped one too many and turned just the emergency lights on. Well, while we're standing there, there is a black figure that we all seen with our own eyes standing there just outside the emergency light section looking at us.
Wow.
And
he
like
huge too. Like
he like covered the light.
Yeah.
Like you could see the light was on and you could see like when he moved in front of the light, it blacked out the light and then he moved and it was back.
It was not far from us either. It was insane.
Now the first time I went there, I was with Dwayne and Justin. And I kept telling them, I'm like, I need to go further back. I'm being drawn, to go further back. And they're going, there's nothing back there. It's a curtain and that's it. And I'm like, no, y'all don't understand. Like, I've got to go back there. Mm. And I went back there and there's actually like a door on the ground that you can open. And they called and the guy's like, yeah, y'all can go down there. And we went down there and it's kind of hard. It's like you can stand up and stuff, but it's like dirt floor and stuff. I guess it's kind of like up underneath the stage. Okay. And because the first time they went, I wasn't with them. And they never knew that it was there. Like, they never filmed it the first time. But something was like drawing me down there, and we got down there, and I ended up getting scared and I wouldn't go back down there.
Yeah, jeez.
Wow. I was like, I don't know what it was that was pulling me back there or leading me back there, drawing me, whatever, but I wasn't trying to stick around and find out because it was like growling noises and thumping, and I'm like, nope, I'm out.
We did. We stayed down there. Me and Justin and Robert stayed down there.
Sounds like something Brian and I would do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that place was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's super active, very active.
Yeah,
you might get a little bat friend, but you'll be okay.
Yeah, we did get some bat experience in there too.
There's one little bat that likes to hang out in there.
If you just take Robert Fry, if you just take Robert Fry with you on an investigation,
you'll know where there's a bat.
You'll know there's a bat.
Oh, really?
It's drawn to him for some reason.
He's like a bat alarm.
He's like a 12-year-old girl.
Sounds like Sue.
When we went to Waverly Hills, oh my God, it was so funny. But it wasn't funny because he was scared, but you could hear him screaming through the whole Waverly Hills.
He was like on the 4th or 5th floor.
Yeah, you could hear him.
You could hear him.
Oh my God, it wasn't. So I felt bad, but it was kind of funny though because he was just screaming. We thought it was a woman scream. We're like, who's screaming? And it was Because he was scared. Oh my God. Ugh. They were kind of. It would be kind of scary with Waverly because it's so dark. And you just see things flying at you, so I'd be but it was so funny.
Nope.
I felt bad for him.
Sue said, I don't do bats.
Nope.
Like, if I see him, it's okay.
I couldn't believe it.
But when they start kind of flying at you, especially in the dark, that's just, I don't do all that.
No.
Because I thought it was funny, when we did Waverly, we never even saw a bat when we were there.
No, we didn't.
Absolutely no.
The second time, I don't think we really saw it, did we? The
I don't
first
think
time
we did
the
second time. The first time they were like,
there was a ton.
Like you can see where we're setting the cameras up, and you're coming down the hall scaring everybody, And
we got blooper videos. We got a blooper video on our TikTok of a bat flying at Justin. And Justin, it literally flies right at Justin's chest, and he goes.
He was funny.
We had one where we were doing in an investigation. We were doing a session in a hallway at a building in Illinois, and one of our team members, he was a young kid, was he 18 at about the time. Myself and his dad were sitting right by him, and we were watching. And we were in a long hallway, and across the bottom of all the doors, there was probably a space about an inch or so.
Yeah.
And he had his hand here like this. He's leaning on it, and his dad and I looked at the same time and just happened to look. And here come a bat crawling out from underneath the door, right on top of his hand. I thought that young man was gonna wet his pants.
Oh my gosh, that would have been
I would have probably
funny.
peed myself. I'll just be honest. I probably would have
He
died.
screamed, I screamed, Jody screamed. We didn't even know why we were screaming, but
That's what me and Sherika. Me and Sherika.
yeah.
Dan and I are there just rolling laughing because
Oh,
of watching the
That
back
sounds
go
like
on his
us, but it's usually me and Lauren. Like, if I scream or if Lauren scream, like, the other one's just going to scream just because. And Dwayne will be laughing at us.
Waverly, somebody
Oh.
scared us, and then
Oh,
I
that was
screamed, and Sherika screamed, and then Jackie screamed. We all started screaming.
They don't scream.
You don't scream, so it scared me even more.
And it was all because, like, somebody was coming down the hallway from the other way, and I guess she, like, sneezed or
We
coughed.
didn't know it was
Wow.
somebody.
We didn't know they was right there, and, like, me and Lauren screamed because we heard the noise, and then when Jackie screamed, like, it really intensified because she doesn't, like, I mean, it could be, like, some major, and she's just like, oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah, I'll get scared, but I usually don't show it all the time. So if I get scared, then I'm like just randomly screaming, and Sherika's like, "Oh God!"
As long as I've been doing this, like, stuff still, like,
It creeps me out, but like I try to control myself. But sometimes I just do. It just happens.
I agree.
I
there.
react, like,
Yeah,
really easily to stuff.
Yeah.
absolutely. I know we always laugh, you know, if we're on an investigation and Chuck's with us. If he freaks out, you know it's bad. You know?
Right?
Right? You better be
If I that.
Yeah, that's like if Jackie or Dwayne have a reaction, then
It's
we
really
know
rare.
crap just got real.
Choochie. Hey,
Oh,
darling.
goodness.
It's Choochie's birthday.
It is. I wish her a
Happy birthday.
Oh,
Happy birthday, Chi Chi.
And I have to be careful. Sometimes if I get really scared, I have a very bad potty mouth.
Yes, that's the bad part. We have to clean
they know
stuff
when I
out.
get really scared because they hear me cursing like a pirate. Because I just, sometimes I just can't help it. It just scares the crap out of me.
I
That
gotta
happens,
say, like, one
Oh.
of the funniest that we've ever had, like, I react, like, super easy to stuff, but I generally don't run.
I read it like
And we was at the old Arkansas hospital.
Arkanal.
We was at the old Arkansas hospital,
Yeah, that's
and
pretty
we had
terrifying.
Tim with us, which is another one that used to kind of come with this stuff. And
Oh, God.
he cracks me up because, you know, he's military and he's like all buff.
Oh, we have
and,
this
you
on
know,
TikTok too. We have this
and,
video on
yeah,
TikTok.
this one's on TikTok, and it's me, Dwayne, Justin, and Tim up there. And before it happens, like, I guess I'd kind of freaked him out already because I just started laughing.
Oh, Tim was a big old.
And Dwayne's like, "What are you
Scared
laughing
me.
about?" And I'm like, "I don't know. Like, I was just like uncontrollably laughing." And Tim's like, "What's wrong with her? What's wrong? Like, what's going on?" Like, so he's already
It's so
starting
funny.
to freak
That's
out,
hilarious.
anyways. And Dwayne's like, "Yo, we need to leave." And it like you hear like this metal bar sound.
Okay.
And there's like nothing around, so there's like an actual metal bar there, and they lean it back up against the wall, and Dwayne's like, "Can you move the metal bar again?" And we're all just kind of standing there, and, you know, Dwayne's like, I gotta fill in, like, we need to leave. And we're all just standing there, and then you hear the metal bar clank again. And we all kind of react and take, like, 3 or 4 steps, you know, we're like, oh, you know. Tim takes off running down the hallway.
Screams like a 12-year-old.
Well, hold on. He passes the exit, like, 'cause the exit's, like, in the middle of the hall to go off the floor. He runs all the way to the end of the hall, realizes we're not there, screams like a 12-year-old girl, and runs all the way back to where we're at.
Tells us he outran
And he's like,
us.
I outran y'all. And we're like, no crap. You're the only one that ran.
Oh my God.
So funny.
And his wife was watching, because we were live feeding, and his wife was watching, and she gave him so much crap over it. It was so funny. I was like, at least I don't run. Like, I might sidestep and I might scream, but I don't typically run.
Yeah.
You know, I can get scared. So it's like, okay, that's cool. But that night, when we were at Waverly,
We were just on edge on some reason on that floor. I don't know why. We were just on edge there, and the littlest thing just like triggered it. we were just not expecting because we thought we were the only ones on that floor. You know, that's a pretty good sized floor. You know, so they came out of the stairwell or something. It was just like we did not expect it.
Right.
It was. Whew, I don't know why we were on edge. I think we were on the 4th floor, weren't we? Or was
I think so. The 3rd or 4th floor.
I can't remember. I think it was the 3rd. Maybe it was the 3rd. I love Waverly Hills though. That place is awesome.
Yeah, Colette. So when we get over to the UK, when we trick Sherika to go into the UK,
we are going to drug her.
Y'all gonna have to
we're going to give her a roofie.
Nobody recorded this.
That's not. I'm just kidding. No.
They have my permission to drug me to get me out of the United States.
They're going to go miss it, and then they're going to have this video, and Dwayne's like, we beat her.
Okay. That's great. You'll get her drugged up to get her there. She'll show up in the UK, and she'll end up in a prison, even though she had nothing to do with it.
Probably.
She'll probably get us all arrested because of the drugs she's on.
Okay, yeah, you don't have my permission to drug me. Never mind.
Be full-time investigating at the prison.
Just get us off the plane.
But like, just make sure to take your recorder, see if the prison's haunted.
Yeah. Give you something to do while you're there.
So, was y'all with Chuck at Farrar when the skeptic was with him and the brick got thrown at him?
No, I was not.
No.
Sue could share her brownies.
No.
Sue's got brownies?
Oh, I want these kind of brownies if I think I were learning about
brownies. We said brownies.
She said Sue can share her brownies.
There we go. I'll bring them.
Hey.
There we go.
Hello, Zara. So, out of the locations y'all got this year, since y'all obviously got a lot, which one are you looking forward to the most?
You can go first. You know mine, dear.
I know. Yeah, I know what his is. Boy. I think McIntyre. I'm really looking forward. We were there just overnight. For like an overnight. We weren't actually investigating. We had been at Beatty. We were doing some filming, and we stayed at McIntyre for the night. So we got just a little glimpse of what goes on in there. So I'm really anxious to get back in there. I think that'll be a lot of fun. And our mystery location that we chose, that one's going to be fun as well. Only because of the video that I saw of this location has me intrigued. And so I'm really anxious to get there.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool to go somewhere you don't know where you're going.
Can you disclose when you're going to go, or is that...
Yeah, it's going to... Have to look it up.
She's doing that. Of course, mine is the Monroe House. That's...
Oh, man.
There's something we're talking about being drawn. There's something there that I need to go and check out. Right. I don't know what it is, but something is calling me to that Monroe House.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Actually, our mystery location is 2 weeks after we go to McIntyre. And so our mystery location is actually on June 25th. It's a Saturday.
There you go.
Wow, that's awesome.
Will y'all be live feeding from there? Or?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Yeah.
We'll have to check that out.
We will live feed from everywhere we go this year, provided we can get
signal.
A signal, exactly.
Yeah,
right.
We know how that goes.
Oh, wow. Colette, you're coming to the
places
state.
Don't work out.
Missouri's not too
You're
far
coming
from
to Missouri,
Colette.
you'll be right in our neck of the woods and Sue and Nick's neck of the woods.
Yeah, now that you mentioned that, I remember Colette saying she was coming to the States this year.
Yeah, she said in September, and that's actually mine and Dwayne's birthday month.
Yep.
Where are we?
Edinburgh.
Beatty.
Oh.
We are at Beatty Mansion in St. Joseph, Missouri in September.
There you go.
There you go, Colette.
That's when they have the world's largest ghost hunt, and that is where we are going to be
broadcasting from, doing our part of the show from. So
there you go. I thought it'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. For sure, we will be at the Old Arkansas Hospital in September. September the 10th, I think it was. We're doing that one. So
nice.
I think one of my other favorite ones is Old South Pittsburgh. Old South Pittsburgh Hospital was one of my favorites too.
Oh my gosh!
Ooh,
Yes.
yeah.
We have heard about that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's amazing.
Oh,
Yeah. You guys haven't been there? I thought you have.
Not
No.
yet. That might be. That
Oh my
might be
gosh,
one for
you-
next year.
You
Oh, y'all
to
have-
go.
you have
that
to check
one
it out.
is amazing.
We were in another room, and they got. I think we were in the. I think we were in the basement. Us and
Totally worth it.
oh god,
The drive,
Shannon
all
and them team. What?
OS.
Oldham County, or was it Oldham? Oh my gosh, she'll kill me. Oldham County Paranormal Research Society.
Yeah.
There we
Yeah.
go. We done Old South Pittsburgh with them, and we were down in like the basement or the morgue area.
It was down by
somewhere.
the morgue area.
Somewhere around there. We were in the other room, and we pushed this chair up against the wall, and we were in the room over next.
We were doing our walkthrough.
Yeah, we were
This
doing a
was on our
walkthrough, and they pushed it over so nobody would fall over the chair or nothing. And we hear something go, "Whirr,"
The chair.
and we walk across there. We walk around the corner into the other room, and the chair was off the wall out in the middle of the aisle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, very
This
nice.
is awesome. Yeah.
There was a lot
Somebody
of
didn't
things.
like to move in the chair.
One of the girls from Shannon's team
Got slapped across the face.
And I
And
was
you could
recording.
feel it.
I got it on video.
Like,
Like,
I was
standing
standing
next to her.
I was on one side and
Yeah.
Dwayne was on the other, and we both felt it at the same time, and you could hear it. Like,
Right.
Wow.
You felt it.
and her face turned red, and she was just standing there. Like, she didn't do it to herself. We were all standing there. There again, we were still during the walkthrough. And
We were over there by the
I
door. By her.
literally felt the wind off
Yeah.
of whatever this was that slapped
Yeah.
her. Is how
You-
much
yeah.
force it had.
You can hear it on camera because I was recording when we were doing the
Wow.
walkthrough. Because I like taking the camera on walkthroughs because
Uh-huh.
sometimes we get the
a lot of
best
stuff
evidence
happens.
as the walkthroughs. You know.
Oh yeah.
And when I got that, like Sherrick said, I was near, like around. I think I was in the front of her because I had her on video. But you can feel the air and you can hear us running away because it was so. And you can hear the slap. It was loud.
Her face turned red
Yeah.
and everything.
Wow.
It was
That location was
Wow.
for sure intense when we were there for sure.
Yeah. And what was the floor, Dwayne, with the was it the third, the one with those elevators? Remember me and you were having those experiences?
the second or third floor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was it? And there was like a man entity, man. He was mean. And I've gotten some EVPs on there, like it was crazy. And then
Well, my
Dwayne was
favorite
again.
one-
Wow.
It
My
was-
favorite one is we didn't catch it on camera because we were packing up to leave, and the lady had come out of, they stay there, but they're like in their own little room off to the side. They don't bother you unless you call for them. And we called her and told her, okay, we're packing up, we're getting ready to leave, and we were standing there talking, and she's like, well, did anything else happen? And we're just standing there talking, wrapping up, and there's a ball on the floor that it rolls like down the hallway, around the nurse's desk, and like circles back like this. So it almost does like a P shape. It rolls around the desk and around and back up underneath it.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Because the ball rolled, and we're like, where'd it go? Like, we thought maybe somebody bumped it or something. We're like, where'd it go? Because, we're looking down the hallway and don't see it. And I walked around the nurse's desk, and it had rolled around the nurse's desk and up under it.
Oh, Sherrick, there was another time we ran. Remember that girl's room? We were sitting in there, and something tapped on the window,
Yes.
and I got that on video as well.
Not very often, but that was one of the times I
We
ran.
were out of that room. We were screaming. We were out of that room. There was a creepy doll sitting by the window, and that thing was already creeping us out. So when we heard that tapping, we're like, we gone. It was,
The only time
I don't
The
know.
only time I've ever actually ran on an investigation was at the old Arkansas hospital that we talked about. Me and Justin were in the basement, and it was dead as hell. No pun intended. It was dead. So we're trying to get a rise out of the spirits, trying to get them to do something. So, and the basement of this place it's creepy.
Oh,
It's
we did
dark.
something, all right.
There ain't no light in there. You ain't seeing without a flashlight when it's dark outside.
It's creepy.
I love a creepy basement. I
Yeah,
love a
so,
creepy
yeah,
basement.
we were down in the morgue area where they took the bodies out, and we're standing there asking questions. We're not getting no responses. So I have the bright idea. I'm going to tell Justin I dare Justin to start chanting "The power of Christ compels you," like the movie like The Exorcist, just to get a rise. That's a bad idea.
Yeah,
that was a bad idea because we start doing it in unison, and then we start laughing. Well,
you got more than you wanted.
About that time, a loud male voice out of the dark room yells at us to go. We hear this with our own ears. We're standing there. I look at Justin, his eyes are like this. He's all like, "What do we do?" I said, "We go. Get the hell out of here. Let's go."
Run.
Yep. You got
hear me talking, I'd be out of there before you even saw me.
And you could hear, like, the basement floods a little bit because the water goes down there. So we take off running, and you can hear this thing chasing us through the water as we're running out of the basement. Yeah,
Whoa.
That's crazy.
That's why I said
when y'all come down here, we'll have to book it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, the only thing is you can't. The only thing is you can't put the name of the location because the rest of the complex is still. You can put like Old Arkansas Hospital or something like that, but but the rest of the complex is still owned by the state of Arkansas because it's DHS, Department of Human Services property,
and functional,
and it's still functional.
Government building.
Yeah, just mark it down as an undisclosed location.
Yeah,
we just call it the old. I mean, you can call it like the Old Arkansas Hospital.
That's what we do.
Yeah, we just call it the Old Arkansas Hospital.
Most of the people from around here, when you say that, they know where you're talking about. So
it's not like it's.
I mean, you can live feed and stuff. You just can't show the name of the building or
say where it's at and all that.
So
you can't. Yeah,
and it's a $50 minimum for the whole night. You get it from like 6 p.m. to like 4 or 5 a.m.
Yeah,
and it's only $50 for the whole team. $50 minimum donation.
But usually
we donate more
because it is so big. If we have like 6 or 7, 8 people going,
we'll go like $10 a person, $10 a head. Give them extra money just to
help support the rest of it. So,
and
working in medical, I know those state-funded places don't have a whole lot of money.
Can you sleep there?
No, I mean, if you want to, you can.
But you have to be
out at like 5 a.m.
5 or 6.
If you wanted to.
Now the first floor is like offices, and there's some rooms that you can't go into. They'll lock the doors because it's their offices that they work out of. But they have like a big conference room. It's got big tables and chairs.
It's got air conditioning, heat. Electric to charge your equipment.
Everything on the first floor. But when you go up like the second floor and above, it's abandoned.
Yeah.
Like you can tell it's
the upper floors you don't have no electric. Like, there's no electric. This is the first floor.
Just the first floor.
Oh, gotcha.
My favorite floor is the children's floor.
So the upper floors is like if it's hot outside,
it's gonna be hot.
It's hot. If it's cold outside.
You'll sweat or you'll freeze to death.
The 5th floor has a lot of activity, but it also has a lot of pigeons.
Yeah, the 5th floor has pigeons, but the 5th floor is where they kept the criminals.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
the pigeons like to try to scare us too.
So
they're like the ghosties.
Oh, I've halfway ran because of pigeons up there. They fly at you if they're investigating and be like, here it comes just flying at your head out of nowhere.
Yeah, they'll fly into the glass and stuff, and we're like, what? Yeah, they get stuck in there. It's sad to see.
But it's not like the worst part about the 5th floor is the smell. Because if you've ever smelled,
especially during the summer,
during the summertime, it's pretty bad.
It's bad.
But I mean, I would recommend wearing
a mask
or something on the 5th floor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not.
But the 5th
the rest of it's dusty, because like I said, it's like an abandoned building pretty much.
Yeah.
I said we're gonna get sick up here. We're up here breathing it. We up here breathing it.
But the 5th floor is one of the most active floors.
Nope.
Well, if that's where the prisoners were, that kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Nope.
Y'all, and then what is
it? A great location,
4th floor or 3rd floor that has the glass doors?
Yeah. 3rd floor at the end of the hallway.
The 3rd floor at the end has like a glass big glass door, closed off areas.
They
where
kept some of the insane.
The ones that were really bad.
Yeah. Hi, Linda.
Have you guys got the Hinsdale house on your list?
Yes,
Wanna
that's
go
on our
there.
bucket list. That's on our bucket list. That's big. That's way up on our bucket list.
We did it last year, and we wanted to go back this year, but you know, with COVID opening up, he was completely booked up by January, December,
They sound like
February.
Waverly.
I think we tried looking, we were booked.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
Yeah, the Hinsdale house has blew the hell up. Like it's big now.
it is now.
It's an amazing location from what I've heard, though.
The place
Everybody's
is amazing. Between the house itself and the property, it's just a whole everything you could ever want. We had the most amazing, what we figured had to be Native American interaction up there. We heard the chanting, the drums beating.
Wow,
it was absolutely spine tingling up there.
That's cool.
And we had there's a set of stairs that lead upstairs, and we had put a motion detector on the stairs early in the evening, and every time we walked by, it kept going off. So I took and I turned it into the corner of the stairway so it wouldn't go off. We went to the living room and we sat there. That's in that room where we were at is where the exorcism took place of the house.
Oh, shit.
And we're sitting there watching, and all of a sudden I looked, and there was a white mist come down the stairs and went into the back room.
Huh.
Mike's room.
Yeah, back into Mike's room. Shortly after that, all of a sudden, the motion detector went off. We're going, what? It went off again. We're going, it can't be. It's sitting in the corner. We walked around the corner and looked. Facing the corner. Whatever it was, it literally taken the motion detector, pulled it out of the corner, and turned it so it would activate when it went by it.
Oh, wow.
In the living room where we were sitting, we had a lot of our equipment on one of the tables, and Dan was laying on the couch. And once the motion detector started going off, all of a sudden, all the equipment on that table started hitting. And I'm like, oh, they like Dan.
You're about it.
At the end of the night, then Brian and I had walked out because we had to take down our static cams outside. And I walked outside and he stood at the edge of the woods, and I said a thank you to the Native American spirits for allowing us to be on their property and all that. Shortly after I heard that, it was like 4, what we would have called was whoops. Absolutely not coyote, not animal. It was like they recognized and appreciated that we had thanked them and made offers to them. I looked at Brian, and Brian looked at me, and the hair stood up on our heads, and that was the ultimate way to end that night.
That gave me goosebumps just you talking about it.
Yeah.
And it really wasn't like it came from like one location. I mean, it started here, then here, then here, then here. I mean, just the whole area was taking turns with the whoop. I went up to they have what they call the giving tree up in the woods behind Hinsdale. And on one side of the giving tree, it's a very lush forest area. On the other side of the giving tree, it is almost dead. It is so very weird.
Wow.
And I went up there during the day, little uneasy feeling, but it wasn't bad. But when we went to go up there at night, I was like, I can't do it.
It's weird up there at night.
I could not bring myself to go up there at nighttime.
You'd be up there at night. At one time, we would have swore, because the complete silence up in the woods, and it's part of it is the pine forest. You got all the nice needles laying there.
Yeah.
You could hear the sound of what you would have thought would have been moccasins running through the woods.
Oh, wow.
It was really crazy.
Is that during the day?
No, at night, when Brian and I went up there.
Wow.
I stayed down by the bonfire.
Right? I probably would have been like, nope, I'm okay.
Yeah. I just did not have a good gut feeling to go up there.
But you'd go up there to the giving tree, and different people have brought gifts to offer up there, and there'd be no wind, absolutely no wind. And you could ask the spirits to move something in that tree, and you could get them to move individual things on that tree. It's an amazing location. Cool. Highly recommended if you can get in there.
Man, I would love to.
That's definitely on our bucket list for sure. It has been for some time now.
I've talked to Dan, and Dan is actually, when we go up there, he's going to hook us up with like 3 or 4 locations.
Oh, yeah.
In that area.
Wildwood Sanitarium's another awesome place, too, up there.
Because that's like, I don't even know how far that is from us. It's like a 24-hour drive to the Hinsdale House or something like that for us. So,
yeah.
What is that one? The Statler. The Statler Hotel's in Buffalo.
In Colorado. In Colorado?
No, Stanley.
No.
Oh,
Stanley is in Colorado. Statler is out,
Yeah, it's in Buffalo. Well, Destination Fear went there. Well, it just so happens that Dan is in charge of that one, too.
Yeah. He's got some good stuff going out there. The man's got a good thing going on.
Yeah, so he was telling me.
He's another one that seems like he would be just really down to earth. Like, I haven't got to meet him in person yet, but I absolutely love when he comes on the podcast with us.
He's great.
Yeah, we've had Dan. We've had Megan on our podcast. Oh, my God. What is the other guy's name? It's right there. He's got a British accent.
While you're thinking of that, I'm going to jump over here. Judy, are you talking about the brothel?
The brothel in Fort Smith?
No, Judy said, remind me where it was that y'all did part of the investigation in the bathtub, talking about me and Dwayne.
Oh, yeah, there's a brothel
here in the town that we live in.
Yeah.
It's not the original building, but the land was where the brothel was. Mm-hmm. And
the activity there.
Through our investigation and some of the stuff around town, there was actually one of the ladies that had gotten pregnant, and they done an abortion in the bathtub.
Oh.
And on the new house I say new house, it's a fairly old house now, but it wasn't, like I said, it's not the original brothel building.
Mm-hmm.
But we got into the bathtub and done some investigating, in the bathroom and in the bathtub, and we got some pretty on-point EVP responses while we was in the bathtub, but she was asking about it, so I was just touching there. Colette, if it's this year, like they were saying, the Hinsdale house is booked this year, so I don't know that you'd be able to get in there. She said she'd love to investigate, but doesn't know if she'd have time to visit Dan and go there, but...
Yeah, they might have like some Sunday through Thursdays open, but weekends are completely taken.
I think when we looked, they had all weekends were taken. There was a couple Sunday, Mondays, but that was it. And by the time we had got our stuff together, I think those were already gone as well. But I still think he does some day tours there. But I think that'd be about the only way you could get in there.
Yeah.
That's kind of like Waverly. Like Waverly,
they book up soon.
It would book out January, February. They'd be sold out of dates. Of course, you got all this BS going on with Waverly right now. And I refuse to go there at this time because of this BS. It's not going down like that.
No, until Tina and Charlie back in there, the short bus ain't pulling up there. So
neither is Darknite. We will not go back with all that.
No, absolutely not. No.
It's sad. It sucks. But I can't support. I can't get on board with that.
Wrong, and I just can't.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, Denise and them too. We're friends with them since we went there and stuff, and I'm sure y'all as well. They're keeping everybody in the loop as to what's going on with the whole situation, and that's.
I've been everything I can share out there. I'm sharing, and actually, Chuck has got Ernie and his wife on his show this Saturday to talk about it.
Ernie's cool. I love Ernie and his wife are amazing.
Ernie's just a hoot.
Oh yeah, he's
absolutely.
He's a straight shooter though. He's an awesome guy.
No, the first time we met him, I've never met anybody that loved the job as much as Ernie did.
Oh, they are
passionate about it. Absolutely passionate. That's one thing, like you said. You don't meet very many people like that.
No, he'd spend the extra time with you, and like what I loved is that when we were getting ready to leave, then it says, okay, Ernie, we're the last team to leave for the night. What do? He says, well, I tell you what. He says, I go up to the very top floor. Everything is shut off, and I work my way down each floor, and I spend about 20 minutes thanking the spirits for interacting and everything with it. And I'll talk to the spirits, and that's the way I tell them good night and thank them for being interactive, and I go home. So I'm going, that's awesome.
It is. It's just the passion that he has about making sure the truth is out there and not, and I don't know. Should I speak on that one or no?
You can. They're in agreement with us, so I don't see an issue.
You know the story, though.
Huh?
The story.
I mean, yeah.
They don't want to. I'll message you guys after the show. There was some really cool stuff that had happened.
That we discovered unknowingly.
Well, I can't really say we discovered it. Some EVP that we had caught, and it really confused me because I was like, this ain't right. Like everything that they put out there, this don't line up with anything. And I'd asked Ernie about it because, we've been there twice, so we caught it the first time. And then the second time we had Ernie and them, and I'm like, hey, the first time we was here, we got some EVP, and, this is what it said. And he's like, oh, my God, you have to tell Denise. And I'm like, but it don't make no sense. And he's like, no, you don't understand. You have to tell Denise. And I'm like, okay, well, she was in the gift shop, so I made my way down to the gift shop, and I'm like, telling her, and she's like, it's actually documented. We just don't want it taken the wrong way, so we don't put it out there for the public. And like I said, I'll message y'all after the show, and
okay.
I would say it on air, but they don't want it out there. They don't want it taken the wrong way. So
absolutely.
I mean, I know we're just a small podcast, but out of respect, they didn't want it out there. So I'll have to message y'all. That one was one that it seriously just blew my mind, and I was like, wow. But that's the way they are, I mean, they respect the spirits and the entities and don't want it taken the wrong way and don't want them mistreated. And they're very passionate about it.
Yes.
And that's the problem that's happening there now. The place is just going to hell in a handbasket in there. The people that are in there are just tormenting the spirits and all this stuff. And it's just wrong what's going on there. It's just not right.
They're being disrespectful.
And that's sad. I mean,
it is. Yeah.
That to me that just shows greed, and that's another part of why we're like we refuse to go there because it's about greed and the money, and it's not. There's another place like that. We went one time, and we won't go back because none of them had. It was different stories and different histories and different names, and I'm like. Y'all aren't trying to find out the truth about this place. Y'all are putting this story out there, putting that story. You just want money, and I can't support that.
No, absolutely not. No. Yeah, I know tomorrow's a big day for the state of Waverly because they've got. They should find out tomorrow if the case will even make it to court. So tomorrow's the day that they'll find that out. But like Ernie said, even if the case doesn't make it to court, they still have the battle of getting the building back from the board. So that's where they're at now. But at least the lawsuit side of it hopefully would be settled tomorrow.
Wow, that's crazy. That is even happening.
So
sad,
it really is.
Yeah, it's just crazy how people can be so conniving and just carve the back out of somebody like that. Pretty much, it's just.
And the sad part is, I truly believe some of the stuff that they've been saying out there that if that board would ever get their control of it, Waverly would be gone.
Yeah, they'll tear it down.
They're going to tear it down and sell that property for condos.
Well, they don't like that. They don't like that the people had it or making so much money. Nope. They think they're just running off to wherever they're,
I'm not sure if it's the same one or the one that had it prior, but
sad.
I know the first time we went, they were talking about one of them was pretty much trying to get the building to fall in on itself with some of the things that they were doing to get the insurance money. That way the building was gone, but they got insurance money from it. Some of the way that they were doing the construction and different things. And they had to put a stop to that as well. So
it's sad to see history like that treated that way.
And that's what's so hard, anymore is you don't know who to trust and who, like Game Class. Like, I would support him 100%. What he does, he's authentic with it. He tries to save the places, but you get so many of them. Like a couple of them that we've tried to help. Like I said, I mean, we're just a small group. Like we can't really do a whole lot anyway. But just putting the effort into it to help save some of these places, and then they don't ever do anything with it, and they let them fall apart. It's sad.
Yep, absolutely. Yep, they ride the horse till it's dead, and then they're gone.
Yep.
And then you get the ones where you try to get in there, and you know for a fact that the place is haunted, but they're like, "Oh, we don't have ghosts here. We don't have no ghosts here. Or we don't want that. We don't want that kind of."
You're a liar, and you know it.
Yeah.
Like in Hot Springs, for example. Hot Springs is a very, very active town.
Yeah.
Like
I can imagine.
Yeah.
And anybody that knows anything about Hot Springs, Arkansas, if you don't, Al Capone, that was actually his home away from home at one point. Hot Springs is actually set up to be Little Vegas at one point in time. Back in the day, yes. The owner of the Ohio Club actually filled me in on quite a bit of the history, and I actually got to investigate there. That was prior to meeting Lauren and Sherika and Jackie at the time. That's because, like y'all, I've been doing it. Well, Darknite, was it 2017 or 2018 when we started? 2017. Yeah, April of 2017. We formed Darknite.
Seeker's on.
I haven't seen Seeker in a while.
So we
Of
formed
course, we haven't done a
Darknite.
bunch in a while.
But prior to that, I was with another group out of Arkansas known as Spook Earth Paranormal. And I was with them for 4 years before we started Darknite. So I've been doing it about 9 years as well. But yeah, so there's a hotel called Arlington Hotel in Hot Springs, Arkansas, that actually has bullet holes in the wall from shootouts that went down there with Al Capone and other gang members.
Wow.
And they're all, hey Trish, and they're all, we don't want that kind of publicity, so we're not letting nobody in here for investigate. I'm like, why? You realize how many more people you can get in here? Like, take for example,
being in Hot Springs, you get so much money.
Think about the Crescent Hotel, for example.
Yeah.
Think about how much business they had off of that. I mean, that's just.
You can use it to help make your building, it's
absolutely.
Crazy. It's just,
and then there's another. Then there's another.
Don't work too hard.
Don't work too hard, Colette. Thanks for tuning in.
A lot of people like in Arkansas are just like, very what do you call it?
Bible Belt.
Church. Yeah, they're very that's Arkansas, and a lot of them just don't want that be public about it. And plus they think that stuff's evil and the devil, and we've had so much interactions on the phone saying that we worship the devil because we're wanting to investigate their place. And
I love to be able to flip it on them.
I'm all like, what do you think the Holy Spirit is? The Holy Spirit is
just say yes or no. I don't need a lecture. Just say yes or no and be done with it, It's crazy.
Funny, we had that location out in Wymore, Nebraska, the Stevenson building.
Yeah.
It's got some stuff going on there as well, and that's funny because that was a Capone hangout as well. Plus, it was the sad part of that town as well was it was a major KKK location in its time. Seriously, it's got some weird juju going around.
Is that the one that Chuck was talking about when he was on our podcast a few weeks ago? I thought
so. The raccoons attacked him.
Yes.
That's hilarious.
And that too, because there's always been talk that underneath the one building there's a secret drive-in where the road are lower and raised, where Capone could drive his car underneath the building.
Oh wow!
And then it would pop back up to hide his car.
Dude, that's cool.
But yeah, it's an interesting location. If you ever want to make a long trip that direction, there's some stuff going on there as well.
Yeah. That's intriguing.
Now, how do y'all feel that COVID affected y'all's places that y'all investigate? Did y'all notice any kind of?
Not too bad. I mean, everybody that when we went to the locations was pretty good about having them cleaned up and taken care of. It really didn't affect. We cut back a little bit on it, especially just because of the traveling of it.
Yeah.
But we still got to do most of our local ones because I guess we were lucky because most of the locations that we had booked, a lot of people backed out. So there was plenty of time in between teams showing up, I guess. So we were pretty lucky when it came to that, I think.
Right.
Our state went kind of retarded with it and shut down a lot of places. I mean, it's like the Arkansas hospital, you know, it's been like 2 years or 3 years since maybe 2 years. 2 years that they shut down and wouldn't let nobody in.
Really?
We had a lot of locations like that, but now that stuff's opening back up, there's actually a couple of new locations that got financially distressed through COVID, and they're like, oh, okay, we can make some money off of this. Okay, we'll let y'all come in and investigate now. So,
there's actually, I've been trying to get. My goal is to try to get more locations in our area as well, in our area in general, that have never been investigated before.
And on one hand, I mean, the whole COVID shutdown thing, like I said, it's kind of helped with that. We've got one secured and working on a couple more.
Yeah, that like I love the places that everybody's been to 100 times. Don't get me wrong, like Waverly and things like that. But it's also awesome to discover new locations. Like y'all having your secret location that was picked out, things like that. I love trying to get locations to let us in there when nobody's ever been in there before. Sometimes you get idiots that want to lecture you, like Lauren and Sherry, like we all said. And sometimes they're like, oh, really? Really? You think it's haunted? Why do you think it's haunted? Oh, well, this is why they're all, well, all right, we'll let you come in here and check it out. One of my favorite things is when they're all like, how much do you charge for this?
Absolutely.
We're like, we'll come do it for free.
I'm all like, we'll come do it for free. We don't charge nothing.
They love that part.
Yeah. We'll come do it for free. Yeah. But I mean, that's.
We were lucky. Last year we were lucky with that, with the Opera House. There were 4 locations in that town that we got to investigate that night. 3 of them had never been investigated. We were the first ones that were in there.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's awesome.
They're looking at opening these locations up more. So as they get going and we go back there, I think we're headed back to them again this year. We'll try and get that out there to other people as well. But we were lucky that night. We were met by the Ladies Sheriff's Association, and we're getting ready to leave. Yeah, and they says, "Guys, you want to come down and investigate our jail?" And we went,
"The police department."
Sure.
Police department. We said, "Oh, heck yeah!" So we got down there, and it was pretty cool because they didn't give us any info, but we validated some stuff with names and that they had heard, but had never had anybody come in and tell them that this was going on. So that was pretty cool. That was really cool. That was a great way to end our night in that location.
That would have been amazing. There's 2 of them. There's a courthouse in Texarkana. Yeah, Texarkana that we got to do. That was really cool. And then there's one that's kind of local to us. It's the old courthouse in jail down in Waldron. I don't think they're really letting people in there anymore. They're turning it, remodeling it and stuff. But we was the only team that got to investigate in there, and we actually called the sheriff's department out there one night because we heard somebody yelling, like a female yell at us, and we all heard it, and we thought somebody was in the building. So we called them out there to, check out the building, and there was nobody else besides us in the building, and we was all in the same room together, and all of us heard it at the same time.
Wow.
And then actually, a couple of the sheriffs investigated with us for a minute,
we had the
and they was
cops
telling us
stop by a
other
few
locations
times out
by. And they're like, "Oh, have you checked out this place?" And we're like, "No." And she's like, "Well, I took my daughter and her friends out there, and y'all should go check this place out." And then they're like, "Well, have you tried this location?" And I said, "Yeah, we've tried that one, but we got told that we can't go in there, and they don't want that kind of activity." And
oh, sure.
he said, "You know what? Ain't none of us cops going to go in there if somebody calls if there's somebody in the building. We're all too scared to go in there. So take that for what you want." And I'm like,
they're all, go ahead and
I'm
go
not
in
trespassing into a place just because y'all are afraid to go in there. She was pretty much telling us that none of the cops, like, they'll get calls at people's in the building,
told me that
and they won't go in there because they're scared of it.
Really?
Wow.
Wow.
So, has anyone investigated the Elvis estate? I don't even know if they allow it.
That's in Graceland. I don't know. That's the thing. A lot of the historical locations like that, they won't.
It would be cool
they don't
for
allow
sure,
us in there to investigate. Some of them they do.
Nope.
But
that one they still kind of operate, though, kind of, don't they?
What?
The Elvis, don't they do like tours?
I think it's like
there?
a museum now.
It's a museum,
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Now I know they let. I think it was Loretta Lynn's old house or house that she lives in now, or whatever the case may be. They let people investigate it.
Yep.
She's actually had teams come in.
Love you, Seeker.
Yeah, because wasn't Ghost Adventures there?
Yes.
Didn't Ghost Adventures do it there?
Yeah, they went there.
Of all people, but yeah.
I don't keep up with them and where they go anymore.
Destination Fear has slowly become one of my favorite
Which one?
televised. Destination Fear.
Yeah.
That's Dakota, Chelsea, Alex, and they're one of the few that actually they've been going to Paracons lately too. They went to, like, if you notice, Zach won't go to Paracons, and I'll tell you why. And this is just what I've heard. I've been told by people that are close with Zach. Zach doesn't go because he's afraid of confrontation. There's going to be confrontation there.
Well, that's part of being famous. I mean,
because of what. I mean,
but anyway, that's neither here nor there.
That's just the word, how
I wouldn't surprise me.
No.
It kind of makes them look bad because then it makes it like it's kind of true. You know what I mean?
I have a hard time
you know,
watching TV shows like that, though. I mean, I do watch a little bit of Destination Fear just because the reactions are priceless. But I have a hard time watching it on TV now. It just, I don't know.
I always like watching them, if nothing else, just for the locations.
Right.
Just
Yeah.
Some ideas because there's been some locations around, like the Midwest here, that we've never known about.
Right.
Until they've been up on those shows. There's a couple that have been on their show.
Yep.
We can't get in them. I'd love to, but it's that close. It's like when they're like 3 hours a here, but they don't allow investigations at it. So it's just like, please.
Right.
Yeah, and they do help in that sense. They help a lot, especially for some locations that we wouldn't get into otherwise if it wasn't for the TV shows.
Absolutely.
Because of the publicity. Some of them are like, I don't want the publicity. Others are like, oh, this is going to bring me money? Okay.
Yeah.
Or, hey, I'm going to be on a TV show.
My thing with watching them, too, is early on in investigating, we had went to, like, Waverly and Bobby Mackey's, for example. We'd kind of watched, like, when they went to Bobby Mackey's, and it was so intense, and it was so, and we went, and don't get me wrong, like, we got a lot of activity. It was really cool. Like, we've been there twice, and I'd still love to go back again. Like, I love the location. But I guess I kind of had like a higher standard of what it was going to be
Sure.
because of the way that they made it look, or and I get each location is different. Some nights, I mean, it was really intense for them, not as intense for us. Different nights, it's different.
Yep.
So the first time we went into Waverly, I was like, oh, they made this, and it's not going to be anything like that, and and oh my gosh, like, I don't think they portrayed it to be, it was like, way more intense for us than what they portrayed it. So
reverse roles there.
That's another reason I'm like, I don't want to watch when they go to a place that I'm going to go to, because then I kind of feel like I have an expectation of what the place will be. And I like going in with a clear, open mind.
I actually had a disagreement with someone, and I try not to get into these, excuse my language, dumbass altercations with other people that, well, I hang around Chuck too much, so I cuss a lot too, but now I'm just kidding. I'm not just kidding, Chuck, don't kill me. No, but we get like, there was
basically, we went to Waverly.
We went to Waverly the first time, and this guy tried to tell us that he goes there, I don't know, he tried to say like 4 or 5 times a year. And
he's like,
and there's no negative at Waverly
There's
Hills.
Nothing negative or bad at Waverly. And, like, I mean, he was like calling us out and just like, being rude and doing like.
They were faking it. And
I don't have to fake nothing. I don't get paid to go into these locations.
You see what we see.
I don't get no damn money for doing this. I'm not here to fake anything. I'm not here to fake evidence. Like, I was literally took over at Waverly Hills the first time that we went for a brief moment. And it wasn't just me.
It was scary.
All of the males were affected.
And I was the only other one on the floor with them. And I was already scared crapless of that place.
And we did shake it off. I mean, we did. I say shake it off. Fought it off is a better term for it.
I was scared to be on the floor with them, but I was too big of a chicken shit to leave the floor by myself.
And anybody,
I felt stuck.
And anybody that's serious about investigating and does it knows that
things can happen.
There is moments that things do go wrong.
Yep.
It's not going to be every time you go in there. And honestly, as much as everybody dislikes Zach, yada, 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 or loves him either, or love to hate. But, I mean, either or. He did make a good point in the video I was watching, or interview with him at one point. He said, people don't realize they see us go to these locations and investigate, but what they don't see is the toll that it takes on us. When we go into locations, especially when you get multiple locations back to back to back, then you start lining them up, because I've done a few back to back, and it wears you down, like mentally, physically. It wears you down, because they're constantly pulling energy from us, no matter what. Like, and no matter where we go, they're pulling that energy. Because that's how they communicate.
And you really can't afford to go in. Yeah.
Go ahead.
You can't afford to go into locations too trained or anything. You have to try to protect yourself constantly. You need to go strong-willed. You need to go grounded and everything. When it's harder to do, you constantly going to these locations.
Yep, and it really is.
It's crazy. They said talking about, I don't know, like last year when we were at Edinburgh, if anybody saw the episode, we had team-wise the most terrifying experience we've had there in all the years we've been going there, to the point where I literally left the building. Well, towards the end of this, I was in tears because I couldn't control the situation. I couldn't help my team. Everybody was being affected physically, mentally, emotionally. That night was a night from hell at Edinburgh Manor. It was really bad. The spirits were cutting off communication. We couldn't get calls out to anybody. We finally got a call in to help, getting some mediums in to help clearing team members to get us out of there. It was crazy.
Yeah, and it does happen. It's happened. I've had to pull some of my team members out of situations as well. I've been known as the protector of the group. We were doing a cemetery that I've done many times, and there's been satanic rituals done at the cemetery. There's been murders. There's a pond by the cemetery. Lauren's best friend was killed, decapitated at the pond next to the cemetery.
Wow.
There was a dude known as the Paddler that was a serial killer that killed little boys, raped them, and killed them. Well, somehow he had done this shit in North Carolina, I think it was, and I hadn't known. I didn't know nothing about this dude. And so I'm over there at the pond, and I'm just trying to communicate, and I'm talking about this guy. I'm all like, this dude's sick. Like, this dude's sick. He paddles people, talking about whooping them, and I didn't know nothing about it. And then Tim was with us. Tim was with us, and then later that night, Tim had pulled up some information, and he had sent me an article about this dude known as the Paddler. And I was all, what the hell? Because I'm mind blown. Like, I don't claim to be a psychic.
Huh.
I don't claim to be a psychic. None of that stuff. And so I was sitting there mind blown. I was like, damn, I can't believe I just tuned in and talked to the sicko unknowingly.
Oh, man.
But that whole night was crazy, though, because that was just the start of it. Sherika actually got affected so bad that night that she passed out. Like, and we had to physically carry her to the car. Mind you, at this time, we didn't have permission to be at the cemetery. Yes, I'm guilty.
We have permission.
We do now. But we didn't have permission to be at the cemetery technically, which, I mean, there's no trespassing signs posted, none of that at the cemetery.
No.
But we do got permission now.
So we're all good.
But that night was crazy, and like that took a toll. Like, Tim was wigging out. Tim turned around and said he saw a lady in a white dress cross the road with his own eyes. And like we had the obelisk going, and the obelisk can be a little wonky.
That thing was going non-stop,
especially the obelisk 5.
But the thing about it, like it was talking, but it was taking shots.
It was taking personal shots at every investigator that was out there.
Like it said mother. I remember specifically one of them. It said mother, and then it said Dwayne's mom's name right after that, and then it said die.
Like, it was like
personal shots.
I think we have the live feed of that. Honestly.
Yeah,
at every single one of us.
Yeah, and Sherika, like, and so Lauren had ran ahead to get the car, so we didn't have to carry Sherika.
I had to run like a whole mile to get my car because we parked so far away, so we wouldn't get in fights.
I know, we're bad, all right, but this cemetery.
We're not condoning trespassing.
No, we're not
trespass.
Do not trespass because Darknite said so. Absolutely not. No, but I mean, like,
this is early stages.
But if you know the cemetery, you know it's worth it. No, but on a serious note, though, like, we're trying to get Sherika to the car. She collapses on the road, and like, there's a car driving by. Lauren left, and it's me, Tim, and Justin. 3 dudes, and Sherika's passed out on the ground.
They probably thought something bad was going on. 3 dudes carrying a passed out chick down the road.
And they're all like, "Is she okay?"
Wow.
Yeah, she's good.
I bet that looks
Lauren,
so bad.
Hurry up, get down here. We gotta get the hell out of here before they call the cops thinking we drugged her. So, it was bad. It was crazy though.
Which I don't remember like that part of it because, like, once I called, like, the last thing I remember, 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 like was like I bent over because we were trying to leave, and it was just like, wait, like I physically could not pick my legs up to walk.
I had to force her to leave.
And I stopped and I bent down and I put my hands on my knees, like trying to catch my breath. And I'm like, and it, like the only thing that I can really describe it as was kind of like somebody threw like an invisible black weighted heavy blanket over me.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And that's the last thing I remember. And then I remember waking up in a parking lot, and I was like physically and mentally sick and drained for like 3 or 4 days after that. Like,
oh wow,
I couldn't hardly physically get up out of bed. I was weak. It was bad. It scared me.
That's crazy.
I was going to bring something up as well. Y'all said like at Edinburgh, y'all are having communication issues.
Yep.
I know when we went, we were down in the basement where the kitchen was.
Yep. And
we had multiple times like people talking on our walkie-talkies that weren't even in the building.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And we were telling one of the other guys, and he's like, "Well, we heard you talking on there too." I'm like, "What?" And he goes, "I heard your voice on the walkie," and I was like, "I wasn't even talking. Like I had people there witness. It was crazy. Like everybody was hearing people's voices, and it wasn't even us. Like they were mimicking our voices."
Yes.
So that was just, it was the first time I've ever experienced. I was like, that was creepy. It was weird.
That location has got it's.
Yeah.
It was at Edinburgh Manor where that he was referring to, what he was last referring to. It actually was calling me out by my maiden name.
Wow.
And and that whole night was part of that. And her being a medium, the children's spirits are drawn to her. Or empath, I'm sorry. Her being an empath, the children's spirits are really drawn to her.
I have a question. That I can't remember what room it was. It was like, I can't remember if it was a blue room or the red room, but that room where those girls got raped.
That was downstairs on the first floor.
Did you have any crazy things happen when you were around there? Like I can't explain it. When I was down there, I was getting some intense crap from that room. Like it was drawing me to that room, and I went in there and sat in that room by myself on that bed. It was weird. Like it was intense.
For the females especially, they've had a lot of experiences in that room just because of what had happened there. The females have a lot more experiences in that room than the guys do, which makes complete sense.
It was awful. I hated it. It was terrible. And then I can't remember, it was the one that doesn't like the men.
That's the women's floor, the women's ward on the second floor.
Yep.
Yeah, one of our friends, Robert, he was getting really affected because he said he couldn't enter the room. It wouldn't let him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've learned in most of the guys on my team, every time when we go up there, before we cross into the women's wing, we always ask permission.
So we didn't, okay.
Because we learned, because all of us were affected physically or emotionally in the women's wing on that end. Pretty nasty a couple times. So not to say we still don't get affected, but depending on what the mood of the night is, most of the time we can get away with going down there with no problems.
That place is it was awesome, but it was so intense. Like I was on edge the whole entire time.
It is. I mean, I have been told by multiple psychics or mediums to stay out of the basement. But just like when you tell a child not to do something,
it makes you want to do it even more.
We did the same thing
here.
Yep.
And I will be the first one to go charging down there.
Yep.
But then I'm also the one that probably hit the most down.
But that place changed so much. When were you there last?
Oh gosh.
That was 2018.
18. Yeah, it was 2018. I think we went.
April of 2018.
Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm. It was crazy.
So from that time that you were there to now, the spirits have changed. So drastically. The spirits that you're known to be there, all the good spirits, they may still come in there, but we truly believe, along with other people that go there more, they spend more time outside because something has been brought into there that is
like
so
it pushed
nasty.
them out.
Really?
It's pushed them out.
See, I felt creeped out a little bit.
You'll be listening to your spirit box, and you'll get multiple. Usually, it's like 5 people on there, and they're talking about waiting. One more coming, waiting for him, and then he's here.
I wonder if the portal's been open there.
It has been. I would be willing to bet, and somebody brought something awfully nasty to it, and it has the opportunity. It's not closed, and it's passing back and forth through there.
It has gotten so strong that it can now travel anywhere throughout the building.
See, like when I went, it was, of course, creepy, but interesting, but it was nothing like scary or, oh my God, I never want to come back here again type of thing is what, we had some scary, but nothing, I never felt threatened or scared or, it could just be me, but.
We figured out that if you go there and you're doing 2 nights there, which we always do.
Yeah.
Let's say if you're a new team going in there doing a 2-nighter, whatever this thing is, him and his minions, in our opinion only, again.
Right.
Well, there's a few others that go down this road, but we feel that whatever this is he checks out everybody but that's there. He looks for their weaknesses. He looks for that kind of stuff. And the next night,
scared to go back now.
those are the ones that get affected the next night.
Oh my God!
So that's the one that like.
I'm going.
That kind of stuff.
I mean, I'm gonna go, but good. It sounds like it's way changed since I've been. Wow.
And I'm only saying that because we've seen it happen ourselves. And talking to different teams that have been in there. That's what's happened to them as well, is somebody that was an empath or medium or was having something emotionally in their family going wrong or just having a rough time in their life. Those are the people that were affected at that location.
Yeah, I mean,
now I don't want to go.
just
no, I still want to go.
There was a team that was out there that wanted us to pop out because they wanted to meet us. And, so we said, okay, we popped out there because it's only a 45-minute drive for us. And we kind of shook it up for them. Unintentionally, but we kind of woke it up and got it shook up for them. They ended up,
here you go.
They ended up leaving at 11. They left at 11:30 that night.
Wow.
To be honest, folks, I think in the last probably year, I can think of 7 or 8 teams that have bailed early out of there.
Wow.
We stayed the whole.
And it's funny because last year when we had those 2 nights that were really bad for us, we had Friday and Saturday. Sunday, a team came in. We were a little worried about them. We knew who they were.
Right.
So we kept in contact with them. They had a peaceful 2 nights they were there. Absolutely crickets. Nothing happened. Then another team that we know was in there Friday and Saturday. They bailed Saturday night. It got so bad for them.
So is it just like those days, I wonder, or?
I don't know.
Just the team and energy.
The team. I think so.
Probably like these people have so many weaknesses.
A lot of times, even if we're not there, we still get called out on other people's investigations. And we're like, I say, I'm changing my name. I'm changing my name. It's gonna happen,
right?
But it's an amazing location to go to. But everybody that I know that goes in, I got to tell them, enter that thing with respect and be well grounded and protected when you go in there, because it's not a place to mess with anymore.
No.
I mean, we've even smelled like rotting meat in one specific area of that basement.
But then it's gone.
But then, and then moments later, it's gone.
Wow.
I mean, but it's just that pungent stench,
Yeah.
You're like, oh my God. And a few minutes later, you don't smell it anymore.
Wow.
It's just very odd.
And you're getting that occasional hit of sulfur in there too, and that's the one you're going, okay, this is interesting now.
Wow.
It's a, I don't know, and what it would take to clean this place out, or whatever this thing is.
It's gonna take a lot.
That was brought in. I don't know what it would take.
It would take some hard hitters to do this.
Yeah.
But we keep going back.
Yep.
And that's like the thing, like it's like.
I wonder if that's why it's connected to you. Sorry,
we
Laura.
love to do this stuff, but it's like
it could be.
People realize it's risky because when like certain locations have been visited so many times, like you said, like people have attachments.
They know us.
Yeah, and people have attachments like, ooh, I like this place too. I'm gonna stay here as well, and it's people's energy like leaves an imprint, and it's crazy.
I really think the more you go to a location, the more familiar they get with you.
Yep.
And the more familiar they get, the more they interact.
Yes.
Anyway, we found that to be true.
Be it good or bad, it just recognizes that.
We have to, in our experience, I feel like that with the brothel that I was talking about, that's here in our town, because that went, I mean, it's literally like 3 or 4 blocks from my house. We done it quite a bit. And actually, my uncle bought the house and was supposed to remodel it for my cousin. And for whatever reason, like, they've stopped doing the remodel and stuff on it. And my cousin believes she wants us to come investigate it, but my uncle is just kind of like, you know, he kind of walks that wall. Are you sure you're not doing the devil's work?
No.
So we're working on possibly being able to get back into that one, but that one is one of them. It's like the more we went there, it's like y'all said, like it got more relaxed, it got more comfortable. It, you know, it interacted with us, and it was really funny because we had one of our local police officers come by one night, and he's like, "What are y'all doing?" And I'm like, "Look, you know, the lady that owned it at the time before my uncle bought it, her name was Wendy." And I'm like, "We've talked to Wendy, we've got permission, you know, we're ghost hunting." And he's like, I'm like, "You should come with us." And he's like, "I don't know." Well, we ended up talking to him. I went to school with the guy. I used to party with him. And we talked him into coming in there with us. It was so funny because he called on the radio and he's like, "Dispatch, I'm going to be ghost hunting for a minute. Be on standby." And you could hear dispatch when they radioed back. They were laughing at him. Like, they're like, you know, 10-4, whatever. So he comes in, and like the whole time he's got his hand on his gun. You know, he's like
on edge.
On edge. And we're like, "Look, dude, we're videoing you because we live feed and video every one of our investigations." And I'm like, you know, you can't shoot a ghost. So don't try to shoot it because you're accidentally going to shoot one of us.
Yeah, we were upstairs, and then we turned all the lights out, and he's like, "Oh, y'all do this in the dark?"
And we're like,
yeah. I'm the one standing across from me with his hand on the gun. I'm like, "This dude shoots me, I'm dead. I got the live feed on him." So
well, there was actually like a
funny, though.
piece of wire that was hanging from the ceiling.
Oh, he wigged, bro.
And it started moving. And he's like, "Did y'all touch that?" And we're like, "Dude, you're standing in here with us. Did we touch it?" And he's like, "Nobody touched that." And he's like, "The wind ain't blowing. Like, there's no windows because we were, you know, in a room and didn't have no windows or anything." And he's like wigging out.
Yeah, that's enough for me.
And he's like, "That's it. I'm done."
Enough for me.
And he bailed. Like, I think he missed a couple of steps on the way going down the stairs.
We went back to the brothel a couple times, or quite a few times after that. He stopped by, but he would not go inside.
But it was so funny because it's like it's almost like they intentionally done it to scare him.
Yeah, just to mess with him.
And it was so funny.
Because they know we're used to them, so we're not that much scared. So they're like, "Ooh, new people." Let's
yeah.
mess with them.
Yeah. Go new meat. Let's scare them a little bit.
Right? Yep. It was so funny. That was great.
But, you know, you talking about being the empath and the children being drawn to you, Sue. For me, for some reason, it's like the younger women and a lot of them that's had trauma, some sort of trauma that I connect with. And it's I shut off for a long time because it's hard to deal with sometimes.
Takes a lot out of you.
It's just emotional, like, you know. Or there's certain ones at location that we used to visit quite a bit that I got really connected with. And it's weird because that's the only one that I've ever had a connection with like that. But it was like I was so overprotective of the spirit.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
It's
Susie and Ella and Kat and I mean, yeah, there's just so many of them.
You know,
and we even had Seeker. You saw Seeker was on tonight, and we were FaceTiming with him one night, and he was telling us that Susie from Edinburgh had actually popped in. Was it Susie or Ella?
Susie.
Susie was actually here at our house with us. She wasn't staying. She just popped in to visit. And he said she'd only stay for maybe a few days and would leave again. He said, but she's not going to work with you. She's just with the dogs. And I'm going, okay.
Aww. Keep the dogs entertained.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, it was like, all right, well.
Pop on in.
Yeah. Don't break anything when you're here. That's all I ask.
Right? We've had a couple that have tried to stay here, and I'm like, look, y'all need to do some cleaning or something, because I know you can move stuff. You do it. So why don't you move some stuff and put it where it goes, or clean up or something. Pay some rent. Earn your keep here. Come on.
I mean, I've got to go do your chores.
Right?
I mean, that'd be pretty interesting. Come home and your house is just spotless.
Yeah, that'd be nice sometimes, wouldn't it?
Right? Like, how'd you do that? Oh, it's my ghost. Oh, goodness.
Oh, man.
Karen,
Yeah,
I'm not quite sure what you're talking about there. Can y'all see the chats?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure what she's...
Not sure. Can you clarify?
I mean, I'm always up to learning new things. I'm just not quite sure what you're talking about there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure.
Well, I know I'm not going to go stick my bare feet in the snow to ground at this point right now. Not happening.
Right? But no, for me, I stay grounded. Like, it's not just investigations. It's a daily thing for me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I'm sure Sue's probably right there on the same path with me, because stuff don't happen just at haunted locations. It's like, for me, Walmart. Like, I cannot go to Walmart. You can ask Dwayne. Like, if I go to Walmart, I'm gonna come out a bitch, just because I get so thrown off at Walmart.
I work at an assisted living facility for seniors. So you can bet usually about 7 o'clock at night, I'm done.
Yep.
I've got 0 left in the tank. But you know what? I love it. I absolutely love it. And so I'm okay.
So I've done CNA for quite a while as well. And when I had to start taking care of my mom, it just hit differently, and I got out of doing it professionally, for a living. But,
hi, Sandy.
Man, I was a CNA for a little bit. I've done a little bit of CNA work, and I could say that it takes a very strong-willed person to be a CNA. A lot of it, the reason I got out of it is because I couldn't provide the amount of care that I thought was necessary for the elderly people. And I didn't want to be the reason that someone's family was pissed off because their loved one died or something like that. And it wasn't I wasn't a good CNA. It's the fact that I tried to take too much time on each individual to make sure they were properly taken care of. And I'm like, no, I can't. Like,
I'm not a CNA. I am the person that takes them places for lunch, takes them shopping. We play games.
See, that would be
crafts,
awesome.
We watch movies.
You do like activities.
I do the activity piece at the assisted living facility.
See, that's amazing.
Like tomorrow morning.
Speaking of Chuck,
tomorrow my day.
Chuck, buddy.
Tomorrow my day will start off with Wii bowling.
All right.
There you go.
That's awesome.
See, that part would be very fun and enjoyable. I mean, I'm sure it's still very taxing, and you get those emotional bonds with people. I did CNA in a long-term facility. It wasn't assisted living, so it was more, full-time care. Yeah, specialty care, and it was
you're on a podcast there, Odyssey.
Live on Odyssey Radio. Thanks, buddy.
He's like, I'm live. My buddy's in short buses on Darknite, but I'm on this podcast.
That's funny.
But speaking of, I mean, we're going almost 2 hours, and I'm sure you've got a long-filled, fun day tomorrow. And
I'm lucky. I got a 4-day work week this week, so I'm okay.
Oh, there you go.
Have you guys watched that Welcome to Earth with Will Smith? It's on Disney.
Mm-mm.
That is one of the things that my seniors get to watch every other Monday. So that's on tap for tomorrow too.
Oh, there you go. So that's one thing I don't like about our care facilities around where we live. They just kind of stopped doing the activities. Like, when I first started, there was always something, like every day of the week, there was something different, something fun. And they just kind of tapered out. And it was like, I mean, once a week they may have church, or they may have painting fingernails, but it was like one day a week for like maybe an hour.
Yeah.
And that was it.
We go from about 9:15 every morning till about 3:30, 4 o'clock every afternoon. Except for lunchtime, we've got something going.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
now I have a newfound appreciation for school teachers when they have to do their calendars.
Oh yeah. Definitely makes you understand.
Ugh, that would be the hard part. Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, Karen. I don't know much about that field, Karen, about that whole situation that you're talking about grounded. I mean, I do grounded, but just not my type of grounding is a little bit different.
So, yeah, I mean, and when it comes to that, I think it's kind of whatever works for each individual. You know, whatever works for you to make you. Absolutely, whatever works for you and is easiest for you, I think that's what you need to go with. Absolutely.
And I mean, there ain't nothing wrong with doing it the way you're talking about this. I'm not saying that either, Karen. I don't know. Like, that's just not.
Sorry, it kind of caught my attention the way she kind of worded that. I was curious as to, like I said, I'm always open to learn about new things, and but
yeah, we do. Like I said, I see with Colette there. Yeah, the crystals and the stones. That's that's
obsidian. Yeah.
That's big for us as well. And knock on wood, we seem to have pretty good luck with the way we do our things. Thank goodness, our prayer for protection before we begin, our prayer when we're done, telling the spirits they have to stay at the location. Knock on wood, we've all been lucky on that so far. So.
Yeah, we've had, like I said, we've had some experiences at locations that were pretty crazy, but overall we've had a lot of success and keeping the spirits away from our homes, away from our families, things of that nature. Once we leave the location,
so the crystals intrigue me. Like I love the different crystals, some of the different rules and scents. For me, though, it's more of a spiritual, and like I said, I mean, what works for one is that's. I'm not saying one way is more right than the other, but for me, I do. I have a Bill and a Bob at my house, Chuck, but no. For me, it's more of a spiritual, like grounding, connecting with Mother Earth, and more of a, like on the spiritual, like meditation. I lean more that way for my grounding.
Yeah.
Chuck, it's all funny. Chuck is Bill.
Or Elizabeth.
Yeah, Chuck. Or Elizabeth. Don't forget Elizabeth, Chuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bill's been pretty nasty for Chuck, so that's always been a pain for him.
Yeah.
And he's followed Chuck around too, so that's never good.
Oh yeah, Chuck. For a while, Chuck, like myself, had this little character known as the Goat Man.
Yeah.
That was tagging along.
Yeah.
Thankfully, that one always showed up at investigations for you, though.
Yeah, that one was. He was rough.
Was he?
Yeah, Chuck. Me and Chuck kind of tag team that one, I guess you could say.
Sometimes it takes that extra
extra
oomph in there. Absolutely.
Yep.
And then, where was that? What is that town? Crazy lady.
Fishing.
Cookson.
Oh,
Yeah, Cookson, Oklahoma.
That's a whole nother story right there.
Chuck literally like remote viewed, dialed in while we were there to help out with that one. It was pretty.
Oh yeah.
It was pretty intense.
On a more comical note, though, when we had Dennis.
Oh God.
Chuck cracked me up on that one.
Yeah, we had this guy Dennis, and I don't know if y'all are familiar with him. He got busted out for being a fraud by Dr. Phil.
Thank you, Linda.
Oh jeez.
On Dr. Phil.
Look, I didn't know this because I guess the guy changes his name, his last name.
Who was it again?
That Dennis guy.
Oh,
Dennis.
His last name changes because
People talk about me having a boyfriend. I don't even have a boyfriend.
I connected with the guy, like you know, I found it.
I don't see him. I mean,
I had done a little bit of research, you know, couldn't find it, you know, much about, and I was like, okay, we'll bring him on.
He read me wrong.
His readings were so far off,
And
Chuck got on. Chuck came in, right?
Oh, that was funny.
And we were like, okay, because we're all like messaging behind the scenes, you know, and we're like, okay, this dude's way off. Like, we need to end this show before he gives too many more readings. And so Chuck's like, have him do a read on me. We're like, oh, okay, you know, Dennis, can you do a read on Chuck? And he's like, this guy wishes he had abilities, but he doesn't have any. That's what he said about Chuck.
He said that about Chuck.
So Chuck flips it and starts reading him.
He did not like that.
So great.
And this guy's like, no, you're wrong. You're like, he gets all defensive. And so, like, we ended up, like, cutting this show. We're like, okay, we're done. Like, you know, this is so funny. He's like, I'm done. If you're just going to blah, 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 whatever, I'm done. So we end the show, and then I really start digging and doing a lot more research. And kind of find out, like, he had went on Dr. Phil and had done the same thing, was trying to read the staff members, and it was all wrong. And, like, it was bad, but it was so funny because he was like trying to read Chuck, and Chuck flipped it on him, and he got like super defensive.
Yeah, you know, Chuck ain't going for that bullshit.
Chuck.
He was trying to say that Lauren had a boyfriend, and Lauren's like, I don't have a boyfriend. And he's like, well, just sit with it. You'll know who I'm talking about because you have a boyfriend. And Lauren's like, no, I don't have a boyfriend. I don't know who you're talking about. And he's like, yeah, you do. Lauren's like, no, I don't.
I was like, where are you, boyfriend? I don't see you. You're invisible.
Lauren's like, can you pay some of my bills?
No. Chuck wasn't telling him, like, Chuck wasn't reading him in the feed. Chuck was telling me what to tell him. And I was acting like I was reading him. And he's like, no, I ain't got no anxiety or something or health issues. Chuck was like getting personal with it. Like, he was telling me, I'll ask him about this health issue. He's like, oh, I don't have that issue. And he was getting all mad and defensive. It was so funny.
Really? Oh, geez.
You have some hit and misses on these shows.
We've had a couple misses, I can tell you that.
It was that had to been one of my funniest.
You get on there.
I quit trying to line up podcast guests after that because I was like, that was such an epic fail on my part. Like, I tried to research him, but then later, like when I really, really started digging, like the guy had changed his last name like 70 different times that, you know, unless you knew a specific last, it was just crazy.
And like we said, Karen, we're always open to new ideas and stuff. So, I mean, if you want to share them with any of us, you're more than welcome to message us outside of the show as well. We'll be glad to entertain the idea.
Yeah, he was getting so pissed off because, like you said, like Chuck was telling Dwayne and Dwayne was telling him, and he was getting so pissed off at Dwayne and so defensive and like. I don't even think after that, like normally after the podcast, we'll like stay in contact with our guests and stuff, and like there's been nothing, like no communication whatsoever since then.
Not on the Christmas card list, huh?
No,
we didn't make his Christmas card list.
Made him look like a fool.
Oh yeah, that's right up Chuck's alley there to eat that one.
It was so funny. Like,
yeah, so if we do come up there and do Edinburgh, which we may do Edinburgh this year. We're talking about
depends. Yeah. This year's travel may be a little limited with my mom and some of her.
Yeah.
We ain't going when it's cold though.
No, hell no.
When I was there last, it was freezing.
Look, it's cold all year round up there. I don't know what you're talking about.
It gets hot up there. It gets hot up there in the summertime, just like it does here.
What's hot up there?
100 degrees.
Okay, we can go when it's 100 degrees. I'll be good then.
And Indiana, it got 100 degrees in the summertime, so I know it gets
we can go in the summertime
in that area.
I don't do that.
In Wisconsin.
Chuck said he was a turd stick.
Yeah.
That 100 to 105 with about 80% humidity.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah.
No. When I went, it was freezing. It was pretty
bad.
Humidity
is not fun.
No.
See, I can deal with the heat and the humidity better than I do the cold. Unless it's like, I don't know, 75 is like, for me. About 78 and above, I'm good.
Sherika will make you have a heat stroke if you're in a
Sherika says
area
the
with her.
60s is cold. Come on now.
Imagine riding in a car with her.
It was like 60. It was like right at 70, almost 70 degrees.
Window down.
And Sherika's all, it's cold.
She got a dang blanket and a hoodie on in the car, and she got the damn heater all the way high. We're back there going,
oh, geez.
They hate staying in a hotel. Me and Lauren have like thermostat wars when we stay in a hotel.
I feel sorry for the electric bill because we wake up in the middle of the night and changing it.
Lauren will turn it down to like 60 and I'll wake up freezing, so I'll turn it up to like 75 and then she'll wake up and turn it back down. We have thermostat.
I'm surprised we haven't got sick. I'm surprised we haven't got sick a lot because of our heat or temperature changes.
Yep.
Oh gosh, I cannot sleep when it's hot. Oh no.
So I can't do cold. No. Like on our bed, I have a heating pad, a heating blanket, and a heater on my nightstand.
Dwayne, how
on my side of the bed, and Dwayne sleeps with the sheet and his fan.
Don't even put a little divider between you.
I'm one of those people. In the wintertime, I got my fan on.
I'm the same way. I have a fan on all the time. I have to have a fan on. I can't sleep without it.
I'm just weird. Gotta have that air moving, cool air. Yeah.
Right.
Our nighttime thermostat is at 60.
Oh, see?
Well, I would die. I would die.
That'd be perfect.
Daytime is 64.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, I would have to have like 3 comforters and snuggled up in the corner on your couch.
If I heard a pod or something to sleep in.
Oh my God! Chuck said he just uploaded number 6 tonight. Nick, Ghost Bait and I are killing it, man. He said my fan is on. It's called Old Man Drip. LOL.
Oh my God!
Linda, thank you.
Oh, Chuck,
you're amazing, Linda.
You're so sweet.
We're not as amazing as you,
Brandy.
Linda.
Like they're 2 of the.
Linda and Brandy are hoots. We have them on our podcast. They've been followers of Darknite since we started.
I believe it's April. We're gonna meet them in person.
Yeah. They've been followers of ours since we started. Family, because like Sandy Hickey in the chat as well. She actually runs Darknite Canada. Yeah, we're international.
Really?
Yeah, we're international. Nice. In Canada, at least.
Or June. I'm sorry, June, not April. June.
Yeah, I was asking.
Awesome.
Yeah, Linda's going to be in Branson, I think, in June. And we go to Branson, Missouri all the time. We're actually going there this coming weekend. So we actually won't have a podcast this coming Sunday night, but we will return the following Sunday night. See who our guest is.
You gotta look at his calendar.
Well, he's so fancy. Got a calendar and everything.
Because I got.
Hold on, he's looking.
Because I got two. Because I got two shows. I got to make sure I get the right one. Let's see. Oh yeah. William Conkle, actually.
Ah, there we go. Well,
Yeah.
good guy.
Yeah.
Will's a good guy.
Will
Yeah.
and Jacqueline, great
Well,
people.
Will and Jacqueline both. We'll actually have them on. They're our next guests on our podcast. Fellow Iowa natives.
Right there.
We got a lot of Iowa friends. Maybe we should move to Iowa.
You should.
Erica would not live. Erica would die at the age.
Trying to kill me?
Erica would die at the age before 40.
We got
okay?
a ton of. We
I
got
would
a ton
never
of
come
Iowa
out of.
friends.
I would never leave my little corner in my bed.
We're friends
Until
with.
summertime.
We're
She'd
friends
have one of
with.
those full body heat suits.
Yeah.
They're gonna think you have some kind of disease.
We're
They're like,
friends
"What is
with
wrong with
Josh.
this lady?"
We're friends with.
I could just see that. Oh my god.
If I could keep my headset plugged in, that'd be
That's
great.
so funny.
We're friends with Josh, Chris, Chuck,
Oh,
Matt, y'all,
Yeah.
everybody.
Jacqueline.
Will, Jacqueline.
Sure.
What's my old smooth Iowa?
Erica knows.
Okay, fine.
Oh, Sean and Teresa.
Come here.
Michelle, what about Michelle Ertz? Do you know her?
Yes. She follows us and watches our page and tunes into our live feeds too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another great one.
Oh yeah, we got a ton of people. We got a lot of friends, a lot of great
I
people.
like
we met
Iowa.
from
It's a pretty
Iowa.
state.
Well,
state.
we I keep saying it, and you see the post on the paranormal a few times that some of the best people and friends I've made have been
Yeah.
through the paranormal.
Yo.
And I agree. We've met such great people since we've been into this.
Oh,
I
yes.
mean, it's amazing.
It's amazing how many people
Really
you just
is.
meet in general.
It
It's
is.
pretty cool.
It is.
Oh yeah, and
Yeah.
another
You all have
another
the same interests. It's pretty neat.
another good friend of ours who's unfortunately, I say good friend of ours. He's no longer with us, Mr. Chris Sutton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love that
Sad.
man.
Yeah, he was such
He
a
was-
good
That
guy.
was, that was a big blow to the
Yeah.
paranormal.
It was.
He
Lost
was-
one of the best right there. I
he
can't
was-
really say we
Absolutely.
lost him because I'm sure he's still, he's still
Oh,
He's
around.
still
yep,
around.
yep.
Very
That's
much
for
so.
sure.
But yeah,
Yeah,
he
he's
was
a
a
good
really
guy.
good.
Yeah.
He was a really good
He was
guy.
a great mentor too.
Right, he
Like,
gave
it didn't
me a lot
matter.
of tips.
He
Yeah. Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. Because when in that few years ago when he was out there at Farrar and they did the ceremony of the tree,
Hmm.
we were there that night. That was one of the most amazing things and
He
experiences
did
I'd ever
something
gone
like that at our
It
Paracon with
was-
Dogpatch. It was pretty
Yeah.
neat.
Yeah,
The
when,
drums and
it
stuff.
was
It was just
amazing.
felt like you're just connected to the earth. It was just amazing. knowing-
Absolutely.
yeah,
It
when,
was
when he
just-
done,
It was different. I never had that experience, so it's pretty neat.
yeah, the
Yeah.
PowerPoint for his presentation, he done the drums, and then
Yeah,
we done a offering ceremony
that's what it is. Yep, it was pretty
because it was Native American land,
cool. Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
and he done the offering
That was-
ceremony and gave them, the tobacco as a peace offering. And he's actually, because I'm Native American myself, and I'd never really gotten into studying the culture or, anything about it. And then when we done that, it lit a fire underneath me, and it really helped me connect with.
Sorry.
I just saw Chuck's
Swear to
post.
God. Chuck's so funny.
Man, I'm a damn ghost, Chuck.
Chuck is making me laugh. Damn it.
Watch, Chuck. Watch
He's like,
this,
how
Chuck.
else do I just-
Hold on, I'm gonna do it. Watch. There you go, Chuck. Disappearing act.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Just cracks me up. I swear.
Oh,
Yes,
God.
definitely got a green screen coming.
Oh my god.
That's
Like
what
I was
happens when
telling-
you don't have a green screen. You turn into a
So I was
ghost.
telling them before the show, like, we're in the middle of remodeling some, so half of our walls are not painted and looking weird. So when we use the background without the green screen, this is what you get.
This is our Von Sway home, as Martin Lawrence said. Bad Boys 2. Von
That
That
Sway.
piano back there gets me. That piano.
What is it, like the
just-
Sixth Sense, you know?
Ugh.
We don't know that we've passed yet.
Oh goodness. Katie said, check. We don't need to know about Uranus. LOL. Gosh, y'all are cracking me up tonight. I swear.
What is Jackie screaming? She like,
She's like
What
screaming
happened to
people.
Jackie?
She's like, I'm out. These people are too much for me.
Jackie done flipped over off the camera.
Oh my gosh. She's like, people crazy. I'm out.
Chuckles,
I don't know
chuckles.
Jackie may have passed out on us. I don't know.
She might
let's
have.
take her off and see.
Bless her
Where
heart.
is she?
She takes some nighttime medicine that's pretty
Yeah.
strong, so she's
Takes
probably
some.
passed out on us.
She takes a lot of medicines, bless her heart. And I think they just
Oh, yeah.
kick her butt.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
I know we're pretty
it's-
excited because I think Chuck plans to go into our first investigation with us this year.
Oh,
Cambridge.
Yeah, that's cool.
Cambridge, and he's another one. He's really jacked. He wants to go to the Monroe House with us.
Stop! Oh my god.
I can just see Chuck sitting back in his chair laughing his ass off.
Oh,
Oh,
my
yeah.
god, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Sandy said, did somebody put a spell on Jackie? She turned into a...
Damn it. Oh my god.
Oh my gosh. Woo!
That's funny.
Yes, Darknite is still here, folks, and we're still crazy as that. Especially when you put us with these Iowa folks, man.
Stupid fit in just perfect.
Oh, and Canada. We can't forget our Canadian friend.
That's right. Yep.
There she is. Hold on.
She's turned back.
Jackie's back. Right?
Jackie, somebody said you turned into a cup.
I always thought it was you turned into a cup, Jackie. We're like, what happened to Jackie?
Oh my gosh.
It's dying, so I had to charge it.
Oh, you're good.
Auto winner. Iowa Eagles. Auto winner.
Hey. That's funny.
He is, Chuck. You're just rolling tonight, buddy.
I'm telling you, he's having
When
a
does
When's he not on a
That's what
roll?
I'll say. When does he not?
he's on a
Well,
ball.
He's always quick
He's
at
pretty
winning.
good, but he's throwing them out there right and left tonight.
I'm telling y'all, seeing that piano in the background, I think I want to learn how to play a piano now.
I'll be over there on the podcast.
Dwayne, you can play the background music.
Play the
While we
intro
talk.
to the
While we
podcast. Yeah.
Dwayne's over there just jamming on the piano.
Like on the shows when it's time to go to
Yeah.
commercial, then they start playing
Darknite.
music in the
We'll have it.
background.
We'll have a Darknite theme song. Dwayne's back there jamming on the damn piano.
I'd be scared if he had to write it, what it would be.
Oh God.
We do have a song that we always play on Go on Investigations. If you haven't heard it, it's amazing. It's called State of My Head by Shinedown.
Really?
Yeah, it's a really good song. It's like,
You gotta kind of like
Yeah.
that genre of
yeah,
music.
you gotta like some upbeat rock music for it. But it's really good. I mean, that's
It's kind of like rock, almost heavy metal.
Oh,
Or
okay.
almost metal.
yeah,
Oh, sure.
it's got a little spin to it. But it's a really good song. And it's just crazy because he's all the only way I'm leaving is dead. That's the state of my head.
Really?
It's what better way we're going to talk to the dead?
Yeah.
So I
Absolutely.
mean, not butter, parquet.
I can't believe it's not butter.
Oh, Chuck.
Man, I think like half the people that we hang out with and have on our podcast is from Iowa. Linda, we love our Iowa friends. Of course, Roberto, he's from Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin. And he's been trying to get us to come up there and investigate some places for years. He's got a few of them that he wants us to check out.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
But
there's some spots up there for sure.
Road trip.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Road trip. We'll just hit up.
During the summer.
We'll hit up Edinburgh, Farrar.
No, me and Lauren's got to go to Wisconsin because I want to hear the cheese curd squeak.
Yep, yep, that's what I want to hear.
We don't have cheese factories like that here, and that is like one of my bucket list things is to hear a cheese curd squeak.
That's what I want to hear.
And you need to go to some of the distilleries up there too.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Nothing like the squeaky cheese curd.
And there's a bar on every corner and one in between.
Do you have Grey Poupon, Chuck?
Oh my goodness.
Linda said, my ex-son-in-law is from Iowa. I do not like my piece of shit son-in-law.
Dang, Linda. Damn.
These aren't those kind of Iowa folks, okay?
Not us.
But you know Nick and Sue, you know Mr. Chuck. You've been around a few times.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious.
One man from the UK, Beetle City, of course.
In New York.
Yes.
Now we got a few from New York that watch us. We got
all over
Florida. I know UK,
Georgia,
Ireland. We got some folks that actually follow us from Ireland.
Georgia.
Pretty awesome. Georgia,
California,
Ireland.
Seekers from Ireland.
Yeah. Australia. We got some Australian folks that follow us.
Jack. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Chuck! I don't know. Are you sure?
I haven't been around at all, Chuck.
Oh damn.
Oh, Chuck.
Oh,
You're easy.
Is it late night and we're all just kind of getting delirious now?
Kind of goofy.
But that's what it seems. That's kind of the way it goes with that when we do our short bus show. We get the first few hours of paranormal, and then after a while, it just goes off the rails really quick.
To almost an R-rated version of investigating.
We said we can come up with this thing where we do what is it?
Alcohol?
No.
Alcohol?
Darknite after hours Darknight.
There you go.
Because it gets
late night Darknight.
Or that's what late night Darknight.
Absolutely.
What's that, Dwayne?
We're the same way. It gets.
But you got to have fun with this stuff too.
You
Oh yeah.
Because if not, it's just like we talked earlier. It's just too draining on you. You've got to have some fun with it as well. So absolutely.
One thing I love about like my whole group is we're all blunt and we're all ourselves. I probably should when we live feed. I don't really want to say professional because I don't feel like professional is the right word.
I don't think.
I mean, I'm going to smoke my cigarettes on camera. I'm going to eat on camera when I get hungry. If it crosses my mind, I'm going to say it. Like,
hi, Dwayne Johnson Sr.
Hey, Dwayne.
If we get a troll up on there, I'll tell them what I think.
Yep.
Oh, we've had trolls on that.
I'm very mean.
Get
the hell off if you don't like it.
100%
I've had a
authentically us.
I've had to block several people that were trolling.
I give them shit back and then we block them.
And I know we've had a lot of compliments about that people like following and watching our lives because we are live. We don't cut anything out. It's unfiltered. It's happening as it goes.
And I
You
think
know,
it's
if
cool
you catch
for
something, you
ourselves.
catch something. If you don't, you don't.
If Brian farts, it's
Yeah,
on.
if Brian's back there passing gas,
Right.
he's passing gas. You know, that's
And
just
it's
the way
Oh
cool
it
God.
goes.
because and it's cool because it shows everybody who you are. You're not being fake. You're not being somebody else. You're being your real self. You're doing what you love.
What do you
Yes.
got going on in your background?
It's
Lauren?
a
You got
fly
some-
strip,
oh,
and her air
It's a fly
conditioner
strip.
fits
Yeah, my
blowing
fan's
it.
blowing
I
it.
noticed that earlier, so I was like,
Sandy's all, what is that? And why is it swinging behind you?
it's a
Lauren?
fly strip, and her air conditioner's blowing it.
Sandy is happy to see you.
You know,
Here we go. Here we go.
I'm going to bring this one
I
out.
agree, Sandy. I agree.
I'll probably turn red in this, but you were talking about like Brian passing gas in the background. Where was we at, Lord?
Oh, God.
Oh, we were at McAteer.
Yeah, when we was at McAteer, it was like 3 o'clock in the morning. It was our back to back. You know, one night we done one, and the next night we done the other one. So we were all like super drained. And I don't know, like Jackie said something, somebody said something, and I started laughing, and oh my gosh, I started ripping it. Y'all walked out the hallway laughing so hard.
Like,
And they could hear me from the other room, and we was like on live feed, and everybody in live feed was dying laughing.
Then she was walking down the hallway, and you could still hear. I died. I was crying because I was laughing so freaking hard.
And it was like we were live feeding, so like everybody in the live feed could hear it. It was so embarrassing, but it was like the more I laughed, the more the gas came out.
Oh my god, it was so freaking funny. I couldn't control. I about died. I literally about died in that place. It came a ghost because Sharon killed me with her.
That's the other thing. Like when you travel and like you eat a lot of fast food, and you know.
Yeah.
It does stuff to your body.
Listen, I'm going to say something embarrassing for all the group. We all went to Waverly the second time. I don't know how any of us didn't die. We all had gas, okay?
I don't know what we ate, but
I think it was that Chinese food. That Chinese food was bad.
It was horrible.
Oh my god!
Like all of us, I thought we were like in a competition to see who could kill somebody first.
We were in a car together. We were at the hotel together. Waverly Hills. These ghosts are probably like, dang, these people be over here farting everywhere. And we call them the demon farts or something. We were, oh my god, it was so.
The ghosts are coming. They're coming here and farting. We don't go to their house and fart. Why are they doing that here?
I'm crying because I'm just remembering. It was so
but I mean, that's just how we roll. Like, I mean, it's human nature. It's gonna happen. We just roll with it. And like you guys, we've gotten comments, you know, from many of them, and they're like, you know, that's why we love you because you're authentic. You're human.
Yep.
You don't. He said Cher can chase the ghost off that night. That night.
I'm telling you, we're gonna make a bloopers reel, and we're gonna have everything in it.
And then you get me on there like, you know, late night, and I get like the midnight snacks gotta eat, so we're eating or snacking or, you know.
Yeah. You get Brian is either passing gas or if it gets late at night, you look at him. He's in the corner snoring during an investigation.
We've caught Dwayne sleeping.
Yeah, Dwayne starts snoring. He's like, I wasn't asleep.
Yeah, we're like, you were snoring. Or you're at the locations and you get bored, and it's not a good ideal for me to be across the street from an apartment complex with a camera with a really good zoom and get bored. The apartment complex and what was going on in some of those windows was more exciting than what was going on where we were. So we got like an hour and a half of footage where I'm like,
I'm glad we didn't see nobody naked in their window. That would be probably horrifying. But we are creeping, so we probably deserve it. It was so funny. That camera has a very good zoom in it, though.
Yeah, we learned that.
That was funny.
Oh,
that's
some
interesting times. That's telling you.
I remember
it's never a dull moment at all.
Reviewing the evidence, and she calls me and she's like, Sherika, what the hell was you doing? All I see for like an hour and a half is the apartment complex. And I was like, I was bored and sleepy. I found something that entertained me.
Oh my goodness.
Sometimes you just got to do that kind of stuff.
That's right.
Right? That's why, I mean, I would never want my own TV show anyways, just because, like...
We would never make it. Because we're so...
One, I would never make it.
Because we're too real, man.
And two, that's the other thing, is I think when you get into, like, the TV shows, and one of the reasons I have such a hard time watching them, is, you know, they do so much editing and chopping, and it just takes the authenticity of it out. And paycheck or not, like, I wouldn't be okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'd rather pay for it out of pocket and be authentic than to get a paycheck and turn it into something it's not.
Like, if we ever had that chance, I would have to read it and have to make our own opinions about it. You know what I mean? Because I would never, ever fake anything.
Yeah. And a lot of times, it's not even the investigators. You know, you got the producers and the edit. You know, all of that. It's not even the investigators themselves, but to me, I feel like they trade a piece of the authenticity for that paycheck.
And they don't realize, like, they're ruining. Hollywood's they're getting money and they're getting entertainment, but they're ruining it for the actual people who are researching and learning the paranormal. Because people out there have this mind. Oh, no, this happens. That's not real. This don't happen. That's not real. That's fake. That's Hollywood. And they don't realize we go out there and do the real thing. So that's what pisses me off, is that they're portraying paranormal as just entertainment, not as something,
like I mentioned earlier, people go on an investigation for the first time, and after watching it on TV, that's what they expect to happen, just like it is on TV.
Yep.
They expect to get something on every time they're at a location.
And it don't happen like that. I mean,
we go investigations and nothing happened.
Absolutely.
We go next weekend and it's crazy. Yep. You know, it's just they have their own time. People don't realize they have their own time to do what they want to do. We're on their time. They're not on our time.
Yep. Absolutely.
You know, they don't want to deal with you. They ain't gonna deal with you.
Yo.
So it's crazy because we've had comments back in the past. They're like, "Well, you didn't get nothing, so it must not be haunted." I'm like, "Why don't you come down here and maybe you can do it a few times to see if you think it's haunted or not?" You know, it's we have those. I mean, we've been to places like the old Arkansas. I mean, that's not what it's always active there. We had the courthouse we used to go to. Some days it'd be kind of quiet. Some days it'd be, it'd be really active and then be dead at the end of the night. Some nights it's constantly busy. So
the chair.
The chair.
It's
just weird.
It's his chair. It's glitching.
It looks like what is that? It looks weird.
It looks like code sometimes, and
that looks so trippy when it was like in and out.
If I turn it like that, like you don't see the middle of it. We gotta get our green screen.
Right there.
What is that behind the chair?
Like
something keeps popping up behind the chair. It's weird.
It's the back of it. It's black right there. Like it looks like it's hollow.
Move the chair to your side. Like right there. What is that? That looks like.
I don't know.
That looks. Sherika, what is in your house?
It's haunted. It's a haunted house. Here, let's try that. There we go.
Oh God, I gotta give him shit.
Oh, that was funny.
Oh, now I unplugged my headphones.
I gotta give him crap. It's funny.
Or maybe it's a portal. Good Lord, I hope there's no portals here.
What kind of puppy?
Oh, she's a.
Oh man!
How old?
She's what?
How old is she?
7, 8 weeks?
She was born January 7th.
She's what? Part pug, part terrier, part Yorkie.
Look, her mom is a pug terrier, and her daddy is a Yorkie terrier.
Hi.
Literally.
Oh, hold on.
Yeah, so adorable.
What's her name?
What?
Her name's Zoe. She's like, "What are you doing, woman?"
Oh, she's so sweet.
Hopefully she stays small. That's what I want.
I would think so.
I have horses as my other dogs.
Yeah. My dog had 9, and that was
9 puppies. And that dog was a
Oh,
small
wow.
dog.
I have 2 left, Linda.
No.
That I'm getting. Well, we've got 3 left, but I'm keeping 1.
I gave her a bath yesterday and she about died. She about killed me.
Aw.
I did not
Rockstar
like it.
loves having baths. Like, he'll just lay there and he's just like,
after I gave it to her, she got drawn off, and boy, she was just excited. She was happy.
Did she get resolved?
Yes.
Yeah.
But she did not like the process of the bath.
Baby girl.
She reminds me of those little mice that like to jump a lot. That's what she was doing.
Baby girl.
She just. I was like, I'm sorry, you gotta have a bath. I'm sorry.
I was trying to see if I could get baby girl to come in here. And
yeah, the mama is so small, and this dog had 9 dogs.
The mama's ugly. That's my little puppy. She's ugly. She's the sweetest dog in the world.
About your mama.
Ugly.
You're talking about your mama.
Aww.
Cute.
Oh, she
is.
No, don't pee on my floor. What are you doing?
Is that baby girl?
Yes, come here, baby girl.
She heard you talking about her. She's like, I ain't getting on that show.
Come here, baby.
So maybe she's talking about Dwayne or something.
Dwayne's back there just peeing on the floor. Yeah, there's the mama.
Oh, look. Oh, look at.
She's like, what are you doing?
Now I'm pulling a Dwayne. I keep looking at my.
Look at her eyes. She's like, what are you doing to me, mother?
No, I don't want to be on here.
She's such a sweet dog, though. She's
sweet, but she's so ugly, huh?
Oh,
So ugly.
Aww.
she's such a sweet
Not
dog.
ugly.
Yeah, that little dog had 9 puppies.
Well, I have to show Bella now.
All right, now she's got to
we
wake
gotta
up
see her
Bella.
puppies. We gotta show puppies.
This is one of them.
Aww,
See, I miss Bella.
she's
I
adorable.
love the colors. Oh.
What
I see
kind
the
is
dog in the
she?
background.
Now the two are sleeping.
The other one in the background's like, what about me, man? Like he's looking.
It's
He's like,
Maisie
what about
back there.
That's Maisie back there. Then we
Sweet.
got. Let me see. Ella, can I find you?
Aww,
Right there, that's Ella.
so adorable.
I love. Oh my god, I'm such an animal person. If I could have a zoo, I would.
Lauren Young's too.
I would like have llamas and giraffe. I would have every kind of animal you could think of. I
I feel like I live at a zoo. She
I'm
had
such an
9
animal
puppies, and then my mama cat. I had an appointment to get her fixed, but she winds up pregnant before I can get her fixed every time. I've got
Oh,
3 of her kittens already that I haven't been able to get rid of, and then she just had 4 more.
Wow.
That cat's had more kittens than anything. I swear.
I live in the country, like.
Yeah, I don't
She
know.
shouldn't be getting pregnant, but even in the country, we have like 3 wild cats that run around outside, and she gets pregnant before I know it.
That's the joy of them going outside. That's the only bad thing about it. Yeah. Yeah. That's why I try to get mine fixed ASAP, because if I had puppies and kittens, I'd be keeping them all. Then I'd be really in trouble.
Well, she
I
was
wouldn't
a
wanna get rid of
rescue
them.
cat. She's a rescue cat that we didn't intend on keeping.
Oh yeah.
But she gets pregnant. She got pregnant, and then
She's
it's like,
pregnant fast though, so you can't really keep up.
yeah,
What
every
are you
time she
doing? I
gets,
just see an arm coming out.
every
I
time
know, that's weird.
That is weird. Oh God.
Yeah, ta-da.
Oh, that was scary.
I was looking at it closer all the time
Yeah,
going,
he
is
just
that
pops out.
an arm?
And then Dwayne just pops in like out of nowhere.
we had to go eat some Rice Krispie treats.
Off camera.
Off camera.
So y'all couldn't see what big I had.
Oh, I was eating early. I don't care.
Ray made Rice Krispie treats, and she done some of them with M&Ms in it.
Shoot.
Ooh, yum.
Yeah,
You
that's
come
what I
cook at
was.
my house.
She
That's when they
loves
eat
to bake.
Rice
I
Krispies.
cannot get that child to cook food or do the
She's
dishes,
getting
but
good at
she
it, though.
will bake up a stew.
Yeah, she's gonna get really good at it. Very creative. Smart kid. Oh, where'd Jackie go? She turned into a cup again?
Yeah.
I think she went to bed, maybe.
Yeah,
Probably,
she
she
really
probably
went
passed
to bed.
out.
Yeah, she's been gone for a while.
No, tapped out.
I know, I'm gonna have to get off of here soon. I'm gonna go take a shower and
Yeah.
get up for go take
Oh yeah, I know Monday is tomorrow. Ooh, that work day.
Yeah.
Exciting.
Yeah.
The weekend went way too fast, if you ask me.
Well, then
Always.
that and the time change again now, so that
I
have
know.
it even worse.
Yeah.
I
now.
know earlier it was like 6 o'clock and still light outside. I'm like, what is happening?
What?
What is happening? It just like threw me off because I'm so used to being night at 5:30. So it's just it throws me off.
Yeah.
I'd rather have it be lighter, but it's just weird. I'm so used to the dark at so early. We all lost an hour of sleep, so that sucks.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but
I don't get enough of that as it is.
Right.
All right, so for anybody that don't know where to find Short Bus Paranormal at,
how do you not know about them?
Feel free to go ahead and give these lovely people your info so they can come check out how awesome y'all are as well, which most of us here know you.
You're making us blush, man. Come on.
So sweet.
Y'all are awesome. Y'all need it. Y'all got it.
You can find us on Facebook. Just look for Short Bus Paranormal, 3 separate words. Go out there, give us a like, give us a follow. Join us when we go on investigations. We go live every single investigation. Probably more times than we should, but we are live. We are live like all night long, 3 a.m. We're still going live.
Very entertaining.
We love having you interact. We love having everybody interact and ask questions. You know, we have people come on and go, you know, this is a dumb question, but there are no dumb questions.
No, never. No.
Absolutely. Always feel free to ask any question you want when it comes to the paranormal on this. We'll help if we can. If not, we'll try and get somebody else that can answer the question for you.
Yeah, so you're kind of investigating with us.
Yep.
Only
that's what we have.
In the comfort of your own.
You don't have to be in all there.
Yeah, we've actually brought people on our live feed that sometimes some of our people that have been with us a while have got to come on. Like we had Robert on a few times, come in and just ask questions on the live feed. Like, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. So definitely come give us a like, a follow, check us out, join us. Like I said, the last Saturday of this month, we're kicking off our season at the Cambrai House. And the Cambrai House is a very active location. I think more on the outside it's active. It's more active outside than it is inside because there's an Indian burial mound, I think, out in that property somewhere. We've never found it, but we know it's there.
It is there. They won't tell anybody exactly where it is because they'd be afraid that people would go and
desecrate it.
So it's not mentioned, but it is there. So it's a really neat place. A lot of Native American activity.
A lot of limestone. Oh, wow. The Mississippi River is just a stone's throw away at the bottom of the cliff.
Sounds like an amazing location.
It really is an awesome location. So
sounds a lot like the spiral burial grounds that we have here with the 7 original posts.
Oh,
it's really cool out there too.
And if you go out to our Facebook page, you will see the list of everywhere that we will be investigating this year and when. So you can follow us that way there too.
There you go. Cool. That's great. And Carol, I know you'll like them. They're a lot like us. They're just authentic and they just investigate. Cool. So definitely look them up.
Yeah,
Carol,
all of y'all
really
definitely go check out our friends from Iowa.
Yeah.
Sure.
Thanks, guys.
You're welcome.
And it's been a pleasure having y'all on as always. We'll have to get y'all and Chuck on together next time.
There we go. Man, that might be trouble. I don't know about that. That might be some trouble happening.
That'll be fun, though.
Somewhere down the road, we definitely need to meet and get our haunt on.
Oh, for sure. Either way, whether we have to come to Iowa or y'all come to Arkansas.
Or we can do both. Y'all come down here and we can take y'all to some locations. We go up there and y'all take us.
Or we can meet halfway somewhere cool and do an investigation.
Or meet in Missouri.
Yeah. Missouri's not very far, so.
But nonetheless, Short Bus is coming back soon with investigations. So is Darknite.
Awesome.
I think we're on this downhill slide of this pandemic. So it's only uphill from here. We're about to take off.
Yes.
But for now, everybody, we may go live at some point during this week. If we can get some nice weather going, we might go check out a cemetery just because. But But nonetheless, again, thank you, Nick and Sue. Our daughter,
she watched a scary movie, and now she's like
watched a scary movie,
curled
and now
up in my
she's a scaredy cat. I think she's going to sleep with us. We love y'all. Until next time.
Good night, guys.
Y'all have a wonderful night.
Oh, right there.